Hello, friends. Welcome. Feeling not too great the past, like, 4 or 5 days, but we're going to try and do a stream anyway, because I miss you guys, and my other stuff that I had to do got canceled today. So hopefully everyone's having a enjoyable Saturday, or if your name is Alex, very early Sunday. Oh, no, my audio is feeding back. Oh, no. Hold on. My audio is feeding back. All right, that's... Oh, that was so stupid. All right. So we're just going to move on with our lives here. I love it when that kind of garbage happens. But I think, okay, good. I can't hear myself again, so I think we're good now. All right, let's see. Devilish, hey Roy, good to see you. Alex, I already said hello. Who else is in chat? Don't be afraid to say hi. We're just having a fun time running around factory land today. In the man cave? I mean, if my bedroom is considered a man cave, I suppose. Or are you talking about the Echo, aren't you? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Hey, Kurt. Can't attend. Hey, that's okay. You are never obligated. Well, have a good time. Be responsible. All right. We have not selected... Oh, I guess we had. We have to make the rest of these things. Yeah, it was the 100 computers, I think, was what really had messed us up. Because that's going to take a long time to make all those. But we could manually make some encased industrial beams and the heavy modular frames as well. But I think the encased industrial beams are going to be easier. Let's just go grab ourselves some steel beams, which I don't know if we're currently making or not. I think that factory's turned off, but we can go take a look-see. All right, so Alex, you're on a train. It is under a Shinkansen. Is that... how does that work? How is one under a Shinkansen? Unless you're talking about that's running on the elevated and you're on the ground level or something. I don't know. Are you feeling your voice still sounds different? Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I've been kind of sick the past like 4 or 5 days. If you watch the most recent videos, you will definitely notice that. But I don't feel like I'm dying. I just don't feel good. So I think it's probably fine. Curtin responsible, isn't that a paradox? I don't know. I feel like Kurt has the opportunity to be responsible if he chooses. Whether he chooses or not, that's a different question. So, all right, so we don't have any power going at all to here. I think I disconnected this entire building, but we can check for sure. Because I know last time we were running all of these power pylons. Yeah, and they are quite a ways away. Yeah, we had disconnected this entirely. So we need to remember where the power feeds in. Okay, looks like it could be right there on the outside. That's not really a great spot for it to go in. I probably should redo that to make it look a little bit better. We probably also don't need to worry about it. I'm on elevated tracks that run under even more elevated Shinkansen tracks. It's a triple... Oh, man. That sounds fun. It's good that you don't feel like you're dying anymore. I mean, I don't know if I ever felt like I was dying. I just haven't really felt very good at all. So I was going to go out and do quote-unquote real job stuff today, but I was like, yeah, no, I cannot. Well, that's the fun part about being, well, I guess I shouldn't dox myself, but I'm in a position with some of the other stuff I do as a quote-unquote job that I can have a lot of flexibility. I'm very thankful for that. Just like YouTube. But let's be honest, if I'm going to pick what I'm going to do, this is probably going to be among the very favorite things, because I enjoy spending time with you guys. Gotta see Mean Girls today. I haven't seen Mean Girls in years. The only date of significance I remember from Mean Girls is October 3rd. I don't remember February 10th being one of those, but it very well could be. The one in wait, there's another... What? Are they re-releasing it, or did they make a new one? Hey, Paul. Good to see you. All right, let's see if I can climb down this without hurting myself. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, so we need to reconnect our steel factory, but we also need to figure out exactly how much power we have available. We have a production capacity of 415. We're only consuming 130, 140-ish. I think the Christmas factory has filled up. Is what the issue is there. So I think we can turn our steel back on, and if it dies, it dies. We'll figure it out. I don't know how I feel about all these remakes of movies. The original one was just so good. It's like a perfect stupid movie, in my opinion. All right, is this actually connected down there? It is. All right, we'll just hook this back up, and if it gets angry, then we'll figure it out. A musical? Oh no. That could be very good or very bad. Who's starring in it? Not that I'm probably going to recognize too many of the names, but... Did your significant other or children rope you into it? Assuming that's talking about the Mean Girls movie, you don't have to, you know, be ashamed of watching good movies just because it's quote-unquote a chick flick or whatever. I don't think so, at least. Good stuff is good stuff. It doesn't matter who it's intended for. Going in blind so I have no expectations. That's always a fun thing to do. Sometimes it's risky, sometimes it's rewarding. Yep, there's our power grid failing. Alright, so I think we don't have enough capacity to run all of this at once. Let's see. So this is smelting a bunch of iron. I gotta think about what I want to turn off. I guess I could just go all the way back up to the Christmas factory and just kind of disable that for right now. I do want to finish it, which, funnily enough, you can do by setting the date on your computer back to, I think December 19th, or maybe it's January 19th. I don't know. There's some cutoff for when the event was actually happening, but if the game sees your computer clock set to a certain day, it's going to let it go in that way. I don't know. But I will do that at some point, because it is pretty cool when it's all complete, and that would be a nice thing to just keep there. But since we currently cannot access it, then I'm just going to completely cut off this entire factory right here. I don't think this is extending to anywhere else, but I'm going to make sure before I unplug that. Yeah, this is just completely isolated. So we'll just take care of that. And then I think we can just pull the circuit breaker and it should get back to going just fine. Hopefully. We'll see. Yeah, there's the giant decline in the amount of maximum consumption because we unplugged all that. So if it turns off, we know we have to go fix it, but we'll worry about that later. Not a remake, but I would love to have a part 2. Oh, Fifth Element is a great movie. That's a fantastic movie. I hadn't actually seen that until I was, I guess, out of school, out of college, and I was working with a guy when I still worked in the restaurant before the pandemic, and I guess he quoted that like multi-pass bit to me, and I was like, what are you talking about, man? And he's like, you haven't seen The Fifth Element? That's illegal. You have to see it. So all right. So I watched it. Like, all right, this is absolutely hilarious. Great movie. Kind of ahead of its time in terms of some of the cultural stuff it touches on, but very, very fun. Tomorrow I'm going to see a whole lot of one-way underwater boom tubes, some of which had unfortunate varying levels of willing. What are you... Alright. Are you talking about, like, World War II stuff? Or are you talking about, like, submarines or whatever? Oh, okay, yeah, that's definitely old war stuff. Lots of interesting history there. We got motors here to make... there's something we have to do with the motors. I don't remember what it was. We are also going to have to do all of these things. We can probably pretty easily set up versatile framework to get going. But the modular engines... Oh, that's what we needed the motors for. Modular engines and the adaptive control units are going to be a pain in the butt to make. And that's gonna lock a lot of stuff behind bars until we can actually make time to take care of everything. But all that to say, we need to get more beams so we can do these, I can't even mouse over it, reinforced concrete stuff. Alright, so let's mosey on back over here. I probably should have taken the car. In fact, I probably will. Because I know it's over here somewhere. Going to see a whole bunch of... Is that kaiten? Is that how you pronounce that? I'm not familiar with that term. I'm assuming it's some sort of military thing. Is that the word for submarine? Or torpedo? Based on context. Managed... Look, I can read some Japanese, depending on how it's presented. I'm just not good at it. Alright, let's grab some steel beams here. 168. That won't last us too long, but we'll come back and grab more later. William, oh my god. Not reading that. Also, that's not how that's spelled. Dude, where's my car? Exactly. That's like half the time I go to get into the car. It just is completely in the middle of nowhere. Alright, so we can come over and grab some concrete from our storage right here. Alright, I don't think I'm going to need more than 725 for right now, so we'll just come in here, make ourselves some more of our case industrial beams. I think we can also make the heavy modular frames without too much extra grief here. We'll check that out when we finish with these. If I'm in Walmart too long or I start talking to somebody I know in Walmart, I come out and I go, dude, where's my car? Every single time, man. Every time I go to the store. Where did I park? Even if I can see the car. Dalton says, I'm fixing to make a huge mistake and go to Golden Corral. I know I'm going to overeat. I say I won't, probably will anyway. That's what happens at the buffets. There are definitely worse places you could go. We had, I was growing up, we had a Ryan's, which I would consider to be an inferior kind of version of Golden Corral. And Golden Corral was like the magical place that they had other places that we could go to if we were, I don't know, on a trip or something. But, I don't know. It's not the worst food I've ever had. I don't know how much it costs anymore. Last time I went, I think it might have been, I don't know, $8. So, you know, that was a long time ago. But I do remember it being pretty good. Alrighty. I need a bunch of screws. I remember Ryan's, hey, MP3. Yeah, I don't know if it's just a Southeast U.S. thing or not, but I think Golden Corral is pretty much everywhere. I know I have, I got screws somewhere. I think they're probably just accumulating somewhere over here. Yeah, I got 350 there. 12 here. I wonder why this wasn't full. Kind of weird. Dessert bar was better than Golden Corral. See, I just don't remember all that stuff. Alright, heavy modular frames. Oh, I can make 3. Okay, that's going to make a dent. See, there are a couple other pretty good ones, but I'm pretty sure they were kind of one-off local places. So I'm not going to, I'm not going to dox myself by naming them. But we had, I guess we should just say, a specific Chinese-oriented lunch buffet in my town. Every single Sunday after church, like people getting drag races out of the parking lot to go eat there. And they always had a lot of really good desserts. And it would drive my parents insane when I'd go in to get the pizza from the Chinese buffet. It's like, we're getting the Chinese buffet. Why are you getting pizza? Well, they have pizza. Why would you not get pizza? They just don't understand. That place was pretty good. And then they got a 65 on their health score because they had shrimp that was like spoiled or something. And we said, we're not going to go back there. Hey, Meatball. What you got, bud? 29 iron ore. Thank you very much. All right. Let's make our way back over here. Yeah. Southeast has a lot of those kind of country buffet places. And there were some really old school buffets. I guess you could call them family style restaurants. In some, I don't know, like old plantation house or whatever. There was a really famous one in North Georgia that we went to at least once. Now, I was a little kid, so I don't think I really appreciated too much of it, but I remember the chicken was good. They put Chinese food on the pizza? No, it was just generic cheese pizza. But it was strange pizza. It was like almost sweet tasting, but it wasn't a dessert pizza. It was just kind of weirdly sweet, and I never really understood or figured out why. Oh, but they had all the, you know, basic Chinese food staples you would expect to see in something like that. It's pretty good, except for the, you know, bad health score stuff. That's kind of dangerous, just a little bit. Could you imagine orange chicken pizza? That actually sounds kind of good. Let's go grab some more steel. We're just going to be piecing together all this garbage. And then we have to do, I think we have to do more stuff with the oil. I didn't quite have that set up the way I wanted to. But I don't think we had enough components to do the rest of that. A place like you described in North Carolina called the Old Place. Yeah, that sounds like a name for a place like that. The one that I was specifically referring to in North Georgia, I think burned down. But people just came out of the woodwork talking about, oh man, I went here all the time. Like, you literally have never talked about this. I always read the comments. I don't know how to pronounce that. That's why I didn't read it. I don't know if it's the CH or the K sound. Hard or soft CH sound on the insect body material, but I did know that. I did not know how to pronounce it, which is why I didn't read that. Put weird toppings on pizza here, ostensibly Japan. Do they have sushi pizza? I feel like in the right kind of mixture of ingredients, that can actually be really good. A spinach and Canadian bacon pizza. That actually sounds kind of good. I wouldn't really think of putting spinach on too many different pizzas, but if you have the right kind of other ingredients to balance it, it would probably be tasty. Yeah, let's make a couple more of these encased beams. And then we'll go check out how our oil stuff is doing. I can make 91? Alright, cool. We'll just park this right here for a minute. Drink water, kids. Water's good. Devilish says, is it true that you'll stream Season 9 of Scrubs? No, because it doesn't exist. Next question. But thanks very much for being a beard booster. As always, appreciate you. Actually, pretty much everybody in chat. Most of you guys. Appreciate the support. No sushi, but they're promoting a cheese volcano thing that looks awful. I don't know. Cheese volcano sounds intriguing, at the very least. Sushi burritos are glorious. Isn't that just like a big thing of sushi that they just don't slice up? Alright. So, YouTube has given me the option to gift memberships 5 at a time. I don't know how to do it, but I want to try it. So I want to look that up since we're making another 40-something of these. But I do have the option, I think, once a month to give away 5 gift memberships. Why do I have a show your support for JC the Beard option inside the chat window as signed in as JC the Beard? Why? why is that a thing? Isn't Pokeball deconstructed sushi? That's what I had always heard. Maki, a roll of seafood and rice and... Isn't Mako shark? I think. Was that Golden Corral in Georgia? One of the guys that worked there warned me not to put anything in the chocolate waterfall because kids put it. That's absolutely correct, man. I may or may not have been one of those kids that would put stuff in the chocolate. Look, all right, if you're 8 years old and you see a chocolate fountain and you have access to almost any type of food your heart desires, why would you not put it in the chocolate fountain? Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble now. I'm gonna cough myself to death. Okay. Channel memberships gifting expanding to all monetized creators. Yes, that was a year ago. Now tell me how to hit the button so I can give people gifted memberships. Just tell me how to do it. Alright, so I guess YouTube doesn't want me to give away free memberships to people. I Google this and the responses are all like Reddit threads and it's just people really mad at YouTube. Yeah, the fountains at buffets, it's a health risk. I absolutely would not recommend. That and the ice cream machines, and you're like, oh, great, ice cream. But then you look over and some kid's got his whole mouth over the spout where the ice cream comes out. Oh, that's so bad. That's foul. Okay. Don't get sushi. You pay more for uncooked food. I don't know. I don't... It's not necessarily uncooked food. It's just that food is meant to be served that way. It's not like something's wrong with it. I mean, from the perspective of, I guess, Western food, yeah, you're not going to eat raw fish, but I think it's like a status thing. Dating back to, oh, you can afford to have, like, fresh stuff because you have so much money or influence or whatever. What if you put spaghetti in the chocolate fountain? I don't know about that one, Chief. That sounds kind of cursed, not gonna lie. Well, if I can ever figure out how to do the promotional gifted memberships, they send me like 5 emails like, oh, you know you can try this now and engage with your audience. Like, great, that sounds fun, because there's always people that, for whatever reason, can't get one and they want to be part of it. So I figure I could give away the free ones, but it doesn't want to let me do it. Alex says you pay more to make sure the fish is of high enough quality to eat raw without becoming a double-ended volcano. Yeah, that's probably the best way to say it. Yeah, what MP3 is saying about the buffet is absolutely correct. You have to min-max your time at the buffet. If they got crab legs, you gotta go get all the crab legs you can. As soon as they put that stuff out, you gotta go up there. Just load up your plate. But sometimes they get mad when you do stuff like that. You gotta be sneaky. There's a vending machine in front of me that serves clam chowder. Yeah, that's one thing I really like about Japan is the amount of vending machines absolutely everywhere that sell everything. Yes, everything. You don't need to imagine. But apparently there's just vending machines that sell beer on the sidewalk, and you can just buy beer from a vending machine. I don't know how that works with, you know, like underage drinking or whatever, but seems kind of like a strange thing to buy from a vending machine. I would take the last item at the buffet just so someone else couldn't have it. Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing, but when you word it like that, that sounds pretty evil. It's also worth noting, sushi isn't automatically going to be raw fish. There are other types of sushi that you can get that don't have fish at all. And other thing, but sashimi, I think, Alex can laser beam me if I pronounce that wrong. That's actually raw fish. And I think it's just the raw fish. Need an ID for the beer vending machines. Okay, that makes sense. Devilish with the $2. Thank you, friend. Confirmed Scrubs Season 9. Look, just because that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Oh, boy. Oh, 5 gift memberships courtesy of Devilish Fund. Thank you very much. Looks like Dalton's got one. Dominic, is that Dominic Fry, King Tutties, Nick Pericoli, Bomber 0815, all gifted memberships. Welcome, and welcome back to those of you who were previously in there before. Not in Japan, sushi is the rice. Huh. Only comes with raw fish unless you're somewhere weird. Oh, like where they make the foreigners go eat. Just realized I was 5 minutes behind. No, that's no good. Well, now you're caught up, hopefully. All right, let's make some more of these encased industrial beams. We have to have 126? 36? I think it's 36. Math is hard. Yeah. Hey, Blubs Blabs. Has anyone gotten the coveted I'm Not Reading That award? Yes, I gave that to William when he said what he wanted to... Never mind. I'm not going to say it. recreational reading material of the stimulating variety. Sashimi is thin sliced meat and fish, so you can have horse sashimi, bear. Oh, I heard horse meat's like actually kind of good if it's prepared right, but I don't know. I don't think I could get past eating a horse. You remember when I said I was going to take the car and then I didn't take the car? Good times. I like venison is really good. And bison as well. What I would do to it... Wait, what? I don't know how to interpret that, if that's supposed to be nasty or not. Because I have had like squid as food and it's good. But in light of your other comment, I think I'm going to award you a second I'm not reading that. Just because I think I know where you're going. I'd like to prevent that. Like octopus over squid. I don't know that I could tell the difference, to be perfectly honest with you, by eating it. You can eat squid live or still moving? What? Alright, so is that actually still moving as in it's in conscious control of itself? Or is that just one of those things where you can apply salt to nerve endings and it'll automatically contract the tentacle or whatever? Wait, I think I have all of the encased beams I need. Because I know that's a thing. Something neuroscience, if any of you are trained in that field, which I think at least one or two of you might be from what I remember in previous chats, it will activate muscles with some sort of salt response. Oh yeah, I've seen the videos. Yeah, woof. I'm not here to say people can't do what they want, but no, not for me. Not even gonna go there. We need some more plastic to make computers. So let's go pay a visit to... Where's my car? There it is. Let's go pay a visit to the little oil land here. We're going to need to also, at some point, make some more of the biofuel. Or not biofuel. I guess it is biofuel because that's made from leaves or whatever. But we will need to get actual packaged fuel, which we can't make until we research alternative fluid transport, I think it is. It was in conscious control of itself half a second ago before the knife came... Oh, okay. I don't know if I'd want to see something killed right in front of me. I know that's how food gets made, whatever, but it just seems kind of sad. Octopi are very intelligent. Like, scarily intelligent creatures. Speaking of... I have heard what's going on with Drake, and I never want to think about it again. That was not what I wanted to see when I logged on to Twitter last week. But, that's the way it goes. Alright, here we are. Remember being in Paris with my mom when I was younger and seeing hors d'oeuvres on the menu and asking my mom if these were all the horse meat meals. That's funny. Could you kill it yourself to eat? I mean, I have. I've caught fish and killed, cleaned, and cooked them. But I don't, at this point in my life, I don't think it's something that I would want to do again. Empathy is, unfortunately, or fortunately rather, something that I tend to react very strongly to. Even if it's the same thing, me just buying meat at the store, I don't know. Didn't they find a fossil in octopus that dates... I don't know, I haven't kept up with all that. Yeah, fish is very easy. Went to the Sierra Nevada... Oh man, this might have been 20 years ago at this point. Caught rainbow trout fresh from a mountain stream. And killed, cleaned, cooked them right there at the campground. It was good. I've got some... well... It's been a long time since I've talked to these people, but in high school I had a bunch of friends who did hunting in the winter, spring, or whatever the applicable season is, and they'd bring deer jerky or come like, hey, come, I got deer chili, you want some? I'm like, okay, yeah, it's good. Frogs used to eat dinosaurs. I mean, probably. I trust you to know, since you're the resident expert here. But it's fascinating to think about. People always think of dinosaurs as just the giant ones in Jurassic Park, but there were a bunch of really small ones too. Well, there were small ones in Jurassic Park as well, but I don't know. That's right. I was getting plastic. So we have now 436 plastic. So we can make some more circuit boards, and we can make some more computers. And then we will have to get this to come at a little bit more production. I think I might have some room to push it up. I was just so inconsistent. Because I think the it's producing 375 and consuming between 260 and 340. That's going to be really hard to actually do anything with. I think we'll have to leave it alone for now. Is that why Jurassic Park used frog DNA to fill in the blanks? Oh man, it's been 20 years since I read that book, I think. Okay, I would have been a little older than 12. But I remember there being something specific cited in the book as to why the frog DNA was going to work best. But I don't remember what it was. Could you kill the hot dog and then eat the hot dog? Hey, if I find wild hot dogs in nature, then that's gonna start all sorts of other questions in my mind before I even think about killing and eating them. Is there any plant matter I can gather here before we go back? Yeah, we'll just grab some of this stuff. We got some nasties over here, so let's avoid those. Even though I probably could pretty much immediately kill them. I just want to make a couple more things of the biofuel logs so I don't run out of fuel in the middle of nowhere. Oh, is my inventory full? No. Okay. There we go. Should have enough to make something here. Yeah, we've got to do like a 5-step process to get this biomass or whatever. That was quick. But I can make 20 units of biofuel, which is nice. Cyanide and happiness. Now, man, I haven't seen one of those in forever. They used to be all the time. Strands of DNA missing from the dinosaur DNA, so they had to splice in frog DNA. That way they could switch from male to female. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I think I liked the book a lot more than I liked the movie, from what I remember. But all the Michael Crichton books I read, I thought were very good. Andromeda Strain, Timeline, I remember being good. Airframe was good. Oh, man, I'm trying to remember what the other ones were even called. I read all of those in middle school, I don't know, 18 to 20 years ago. Yeah, the tone of the book was a lot more, what's the word for it? That guy just got yeeted. Yeah, Prey was good. What was the one, or was that Prey where they have like the nanobots that gain sentience and then like try to take over the research facility or something? Sphere was good. I don't think I read any of his books that I didn't like. Okay. I really liked the book and the movie, but I did like both for Jurassic Park, different but great on their own, different character motivations. Yes, I do remember there being some fairly substantial differences there. Rising Sun, I think I read that one, but I don't remember much about it. It was one of those things when I was in, I think it was in elementary school, they came out with this brand new computer program called Accelerated Reader, where you'd go into the library on some computer running, I don't know, like Windows 95, and you could take quizzes on books. And I just, for whatever reason, completely demolished every single thing that they had on there in terms of like doing a good job with the quizzes. So I ran out of books to read. So I started reading the adult books instead. They take like the diagnostic test, and it tells you like a number. I don't know if it still does it this way, but it tells you a number that corresponds to like a grade level of stuff you're supposed to read. And I think when I was in 5th grade, I had like maxed it out at 9, which apparently was like high school freshman level, but that's the highest the test went. I don't know. But then the librarian is just like, look, you read whatever you want. I don't care. But they didn't have anything that was like high enough level, so the system kept getting mad at me because I would take tests on these like 5th grade level books because, you know, that's what the library for the elementary school has. Anyway, I don't know where that was going. I think there was some sort of tie-in to maybe why I was reading the Michael Crichton books as a 12-year-old. But that was an interesting and educational experience, I guess we could say. Make 8 more computers. No. I wasn't reading Michael Crichton in elementary school. I read it in middle school because then I took the test there and it said 13, which is, I guess, collegiate level literature or whatever. They did a program where I read books and submitted reports to get baseball tickets. I don't think we had that, but we did have, I know we've talked about this before, the Pizza Hut one. I think it was called Book It. You turn in a certain number of something you read books, and then you get a free personal pan pizza at the Pizza Hut, back when that was still a thing you could do. This is why they take the books away. No. Oh, hey, Beans. Yeah, Congo was good. I did not read Eaters of the Dead, I don't think. What was I doing? We're going to put these in here. Yeah, we need to increase our power output, which means we need to get the fuel generators. But I can't get those. I'm pretty sure we can't get those until tier 7 now. Oh, no. Okay, no, it's this current milestone. They shuffled stuff around, and I don't remember exactly what was going on. But, yeah. Fuel generators, once we have those, we're going to be golden, because I can just put a bunch of those over there in oil land, and we'll be fine. Wheel of Time was awesome. I read that in middle school. Back, I think it was before Robert Jordan died. It definitely was, because at that point, there were only 9 books. And then, was it Crossroads of Twilight was the 10th one, but it had, like, just come out, and then like he died or something, and then they were trying to figure out who was going to finish writing the last couple. I did Accelerated Reader in high school. They did it for cash. Oh man, I would have fought people if they did Accelerated Reader for cash at my school. We didn't even have reading class in high school. I guess they only had reading class for people, I guess, who were scoring under some sort of foundation achievement level or whatever. But so I only went to the library in high school to do academic team practice, or it's like kind of like a Jeopardy kind of thing. You got buzzers and they ask questions, and we went to meets and I got a letter in it. I was in it for 3 years. It was a fun time. But that was the only reason I ever went to the library in high school, because we just didn't have a reading class. Because like, oh, you already know how to read. Like, well, yeah, but I liked doing like the class reading and book reports and stuff. That was fun. Anyway, only childhood memory of Pizza Hut is the ice cream machine. I don't think my Pizza Hut had an ice cream machine. Like, you could get ice cream, but I don't think it was out for you to use it. Is Planet of the Apes a Michael Crichton book? I don't think it was. But I saw the movie. I think everybody's seen the movie. I would not be surprised, Beans, if you had read Michael Crichton in elementary school. I would be very unsurprised. Missed one of his last signings talking about Robert Jordan or Michael Crichton. Well, either way, that's sad. Unfortunate. Brandon Sanderson, yeah, that's who took over. I know he's good. I haven't read the last couple books in Wheel of Time. I don't think now I would have the patience to, which is unfortunate. But I remember, I think I was in 8th grade. What was the longest book in the Wheel of Time? I want to say it was, at that point in time, might have been Lord of Chaos or whatever. The one I had like over 1,000 pages in it. I read it in 6 days. I think it was, might have been like summer break or spring break or something. I just like, all right, I'm going to read my book. And then I did. Yes, I did know that ER was a Michael Crichton thing. He picked his ghostwriter. Wouldn't surprise me. If you could pick a ghostwriter, who would you pick? Well, I don't write anything anyway, so I don't know that I would, I don't know, if you're a creative person, you have, in theory, you have your own language that you've developed for yourself and how you write narratives and form characters. So you want to, ideally, I would think, pick someone who kind of has a similar thing they're wanting to do with their writing. But at that point, just write it yourself, unless you can't. Trying to figure out why these aren't going. Because I know the... Oh, I bet you the tank's full. That's probably what it is. Because this was making just fuel. But I don't have any way to store this unless I build some additional fluid buffers. I don't have stuff to build them. So I guess we're just going to have to flush it, unfortunately. I mean, it's all infinite anyway, so it's not like it really matters. But I need this to keep going. Did you sign up for a Satisfactory beta? No, I have not. I may or may not. It just depends on what I want to get into. The thing that kind of wore down on me in the Wheel of Time is he would use the same like 3 or 4 very specific like character action descriptions over and over and over again. And it got kind of annoying. But I don't know, I really liked that series. I remember I ended up getting one of those like illustrated lore books or whatever. It has like maps and character portraits and everything. I was like, oh, this is a really cool thing. A couple 100 pages of just stuff. I'd never even heard of that being a thing at that point. And I still got it. It's on my shelf. Yep, it's on my bookshelf right there on the other side of the room. I might go take a look at that in a minute. But I heard Amazon was coming out with a TV show adaptation of it. Of course, I'm going to be skeptical because you know how this stuff always goes. And I heard it was bad, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to let the good memories be good memories, and I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Okay, I gotta read back in the chat here. I'd pick an actual ghost. Talking about ghost writers, that's funny. Longest works of literature are all fan fixations. Yeah, that's an entirely different can of worms. That's how we got 50 Shades of Grey. I'm pretty sure was a Twilight fan fiction. They just changed the names of the characters. Let's see. Talking about books with my partner today. I was reading 6 800-page books a week. My God. Wait. Oh, there goes our power. Was that when I lived with you? Was that in college or was that in high school? Because I remember you were reading a lot of sci-fi stuff. And then, I know we talked about audiobooks and stuff. Congo not playing with... Okay, yeah, I got you. Let's see. All right, I've got a be honest message. What follows that? When you did the do your own adventure books, did you cheat? What do you think? Sometimes I would. Sometimes. People got mad because of politics. The show was fine. They had to adapt a bunch of stuff. Yeah, okay. I don't know. And we really, really do not need to get into political stuff because I know we're all going to have different opinions, and I don't need to convince you one way or the other. But I think a lot of people just find reasons to be mad about things that just really don't matter. I think that's all I need to say about that. But I got to figure out why we don't have any power coming in here. So I didn't think we had that much production going on. Oh, did we run out of water? Okay, no, there it goes. Okay, this is really strange. It's like something spiked and then crashed. But I don't know what's going on with that. Let's how much fuel do I have in the car? I guess we have to go check out our coal plants now. Okay, we'll put that in there. Should be good to go. Kept your finger on the page? Of course. How am I going to know where to turn back to? Don't watch the show. I had to stop for my health. I'll take your word for it. Also, I kind of don't have time to watch that much stuff anymore. don't know. I remember there being this huge uproar about the, was it the Rings of Power thing? I was never really into Lord of the Rings that much. I got coaxed into watching the extended edition movies when I was in college. Like, okay, yeah, these are good. But I wasn't, like, fixated on it. There was a girl when I was in middle school. Our middle school band's piccolo player was so obsessed with Lord of the Rings, I guess she had, like, figured out, like, how to get, like, an Elvish translation book and would, like, speak to people in Elvish. I think that only lasted a couple weeks before she stopped, but it was like, man, that's kind of impressive, honestly. that much dedication to something like that. No, she ended up, I think she was salutatorian of her high school class. Very, very smart. Didn't like, no, okay, I didn't say I didn't like Lord of the Rings, it just didn't grab me. Probably because I didn't read it in my formative years. So, I know, the kind of stuff that you watch, you read, you listen to when you're a teenager, or I guess specifically high school, I think, personally, is the kind of stuff that kind of permanently informs your opinions for the rest of your life in terms of media consumption. So, I didn't read it in high school. You know, in high school, I didn't really read that much in high school compared to middle school because I was busy with other stuff. But no, I was reading like I was reading other fantasy things, but it wasn't like it wasn't Tolkien or anything. No, I watched, I think it was maybe 2 of the Hobbit movies when those came out, and I was like, oh yeah, this is good. But it didn't grab me like the other stuff has. But I've read, when I was in, I guess, elementary school, middle school, I would have read a lot of the Lord of the Rings adjacent stuff. That kind of high fantasy, but I guess distilled for younger readers. The Hobbit movies. Yeah, that's what I had learned is that some of the Lord of the Rings fanatics really did not like those. I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. I don't know, like, in the scheme of, you know, the rest of the franchise, if it actually had any value, or it was just kind of a farce. But I don't know. I mean, the movie looked good. It was entertaining. But I know people are going to have different other opinions about stuff. Why can I not? Oh, duh. I got to put them in here. Ah, my brain. Still listen to the same music as high school. I don't listen to the same, like, the exact same music, but I definitely still listen to the same type of music that I did in high school. I have yet to share my American Bandcamp stories. Okay, so I'll share you some Bandcamp stories. We did not. My high school did not do away Bandcamp. For those of you who are not in the band sphere, what Alex is referring to is, if you've seen the movie American Pie Bandcamp, that's the kind of thing that most people think of, I guess now, when they hear of Bandcamp, where you have, oh wow, my stream health is very bad. Why is that? Is my computer committing Sudoku again? All right, hold on. Let me tab out and go open up, what's this thing called? Afterburner. There we go. Yeah, I think it's really struggling. Okay. 100% fan speed. There we go. Is that going to improve our streaming bitrate? Okay, now it's jumped back up. It was down to like 600 kilobits a second. Now it's up to 3,000, but it's supposed to be at like 6,000. All right, so maybe YouTube hates me, but can you guys like actually hear me talking? I know, like, the video itself is buffering. I don't know, because it all looks fine on my computer. But I don't know what all is happening here. I guess the video might kind of be back? If you can hear me talking and asking you to let me know if you can hear me, say so. Because I have no idea. Breaking up, okay. I don't know, my OBS window is wildly varying bitrate. It went up to 40,000 for a second. But it seems to have stabilized around 6,000, kind of. Restarted the stream and it stopped glitching. Yeah, I think it might be Pretty substantially behind. Okay, now it's down to about 5 seconds. I think we're probably okay. Should be. Maybe. I'm trying to look at my other monitor and just wiggle enough so I can see the frames move. I think we might be okay now. Alright, let's see. Okay, Beans says you gotta go. Alright, that's fine. We'll talk later. Rather have 9 original films than 3 Hobbit films. Okay. So I guess you didn't like those. MP3 says I can enjoy different types of mediums and appreciate them for what they are and what they pay homage to as separate things. Yes. That, in my opinion, is a very healthy method of media consumption and shows good media literacy, which I think a lot of people just, for whatever reason, do not have. It's very easy if you get attached to something, like abnormally, like interested in some sort of, I don't know, show or book or whatever, then I guess you can start to develop maybe an unhealthy relationship with it in terms of how you view the material, and I guess gatekeeping might be a good term. I came up here to get screws. There we go. And I think people are kind of immune to like recognizing when they end up doing that. So you take a step back and you realize, okay, this is like a thing that was intended to like entertain or inspire people. You really don't need to get mad about it. Unless someone is like actually doing something heinous with it, then all right, yeah, get mad. But in the grand scheme of things, it really, I don't think ends up being that serious. What was I was getting screws to make, oh, I need circuit boards. Okay, we can make those. Yeah, I can make 30. All right, now how far back am I? Hello, hello, hello. I guess best way to address you. Good to see you. I need to make an OnlyFans computer, a computer case made out of fans. So, fun fact. Maybe about 12, oh no, this would have been 14 years ago. Antec had a case called the Landboy Air. I think we've talked about this on stream before, a long time ago. But it was literally a case made entirely out of mesh, and it had mounting points for, I don't know, 14 or 15 fans on it. And that was pretty much only fans. Yes, I know what you meant, and we're not going to go there, but that's it is possible to make a computer that is almost only fans. Yeah, it's very obvious to me now that this computer is not suited to extensive streaming, because I built this 4 years ago. I think I told this story before. But I built this 4 years ago when I wanted to be full-time freelance, like film and media kind of stuff. And then I ended up, no, I need more encased industrial beams. Ended up going all in on this a week before the pandemic started. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to play video games and put videos on YouTube. And if people watch them, great. And now I got 10,440 subscribers on YouTube for some reason, because you guys like watching my videos, I guess, and I get to make money doing it, which is awesome. But this computer was not designed for this. it can render video just fine, but the amount of airflow in the case is very bad. It's an inexpensive case. It's not like a piece of garbage, but it was definitely picked because it was cheap and not because it would have really great airflow. I think it is an NZXT H510 was the model. It's like a decent minimalist-ish looking case with a side window, but airflow is not great in that thing. Yeah, perfect timing, building the PC very early in the pandemic. GPUs, yes. I bought a 2070 Super for $500, and then a month later they were $1,000. Like, all right, great. That was the perfect time for me to do this. Hook up an air chiller to it. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could. I thought about maybe moving my tower closer to the window and then taking one of those flexible dryer vent hoses that you can buy at Home Depot and just like duct taping that to the top of the case and having that just exhaust out the window in my room. But I think the neighbors would get mad because my bedroom faces the front of the house. You can see it driving down the street. Like, yeah, we don't need a lower property value by me having garbage coming out of my window in my bedroom. Just play it inside the fridge. Well, condensation is going to be a problem if you do that. we'll see. I imagine some point this year or next year I will just build an entirely new computer that can actually handle this, because now it's a tax-deductible business expense, and it actually is a tax-deductible business expense, not a speculation. But I got a new processor that seems to be helping considerably. I did not think it would be that much of an upgrade, but I think it was Prime Day or whatever the sale was. I got a 5900X. I had a 3900X before. So theoretically, it's a lateral upgrade. It's the same spot in the product, whatever tier list, but it has the Zen 3 architecture instead of the Zen 2, so it does better at certain tasks. And it renders video in like half the time of the previous one, so that's great. But the case is not set up for this. The graphics card, I can tell, is probably going to die at some point in the next year or two. So I would like to try and save up and get a nice, like, I don't know, maybe like a 4080 or something. Or if I can find a 3090 cheap, which probably isn't going to happen either, then pick up one of those. But for now, this works. I just have to make sure not to, you know, overload it, do too much crazy stuff. Drill holes in it? I mean, I could. But there's a certain point where it kind of stops being worth trying to do too much crazy stuff. Excuse me. Got a 4080 in mind. Yeah, if I had, I think when those launched, they were, I don't know, like, what, $1,400? Like, I can't afford that. That's way too much money. That's like almost as much as I paid for this whole computer in 2020. Oh, we need to make more solid biofuel. We'll do that in a second. Called head out to eat. Thanks for being here, Dalton. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Alex says, my normal travel game of spot the interesting looking love hotel isn't going well today. So far, I've only seen fog. I mean, are those really that common in Japan? Like, I think we're led to believe in certain media that they are, but I can't imagine they're that common. Or maybe there's just something I don't understand. Favorite tabletop game? Oh man, it's too bad Beans isn't here, because when we lived together, my last couple years of college, and then during the pandemic before I moved out to go move back in with my parents, we played so many tabletop games. It was like every week, sometimes a couple times a week, because, you know, what else are you going to do? You got 5-6 people locked in a house for 6 months. You can have fun doing stuff. We played so much D&D. We played Settlers of Catan. We played a bunch of, like, one-page RPGs you can download from the internet. But I think the one that we always would, like, really get competitive about was Settlers of Catan. Like, we'd get in, like, shouting matches over stuff. That was always a whole lot of fun. So I think, gun to my head, that's probably what I would choose. I don't know, people call it Catan, whatever, but I'm going to choose to pronounce it as Catan because that sounds slightly less dumb to my ears. But yeah, I really had a fun time playing that game. That's not really something I can do so much anymore. Oh, hey, there's a nasty guys over here. Now I have to remember where I am. I don't know. Oh, okay, there's a thing on the mini-map. I can just follow that. Let's make some more biofuel since we're already here. Alright, biomass. Catan seems like it would be fun or super competitive. Yes, it is both, because especially, like, if you know people really well, like, you know, you've lived with them for 4 years, then you can really kind of, like, predict what they're going to do, and you can set yourself up to just completely take advantage of their situation in the game. But that can also, of course, work against you, and then different things, and it's just a really fun game. And it's not so complicated that it's impossible for people to learn it, which is always kind of the barrier when you have people say, oh, hey, come over and we'll do a game night, and then they get over there and then they have, like, no idea about, like, any of these games at all that you have sitting on your shelf, and they're just like, can we just play Monopoly? Like, no, that's never something you say to a group of people that are wanting to do a tabletop game night. It's never suggest Monopoly. But no, Catan's a very fun, very easy to learn, hard to master, and especially if you have, like, a good group of people to play it with, it can be very, very fun. Ooh, competitive Catan is wild. There was a period of time where I had downloaded the online client, and I was playing competitive online. I was just getting waxed every time. People get really into it. There's a restaurant. Okay, you said servicing. I'm assuming you meant to say serving, unless you didn't, when, in that case, all right. Interesting choice of words. Tomato, pesto, mozzarella, and okonomiyaki? It's probably pronounced wrong. But is that the thing that you, like, grill on the, like, the griddle set into the table and you scrape it up with the spatula? I think that's what that is. Devilish, I'm not reading that. I really need to make some more emotes for the channel. I got all sorts of different ideas that I've had popped in my head. I just, for whatever reason, haven't gotten around to doing it. Let's go ahead and see if we can make some more circuit boards. Where's my circuit boards? Probably all the way up at the top. I just scrolled past them. Oh, copper sheets. Okay. All right, let's go grab some. Not too far away. Drawing. Yes, I need to I need to go back and actually like redraw that. I have not forgotten. I've just not not done it yet. Noodles, eggs, fish flakes, and I think you're getting bodied by autocorrect. Unless there is something actually called a bulldog sauce. But I've never heard of that. Probably came up in the past already, but you've gotten into Baldur's Gate 3. I have so many people begging me to play that game. Oh, this is the wrong factory. I'm an idiot. All right, well, while we're here, let's grab some steel beams. That is not something I would play on YouTube, for sure. But I would be open to doing it maybe on Twitch if I ever have time to get back into Twitch streaming. I've heard it is extremely good. I have a friend from college who I think has already done 2 complete playthroughs of Baldur's Gate. Or 3, not any of the older ones. Well, it's not just that it has some of that other kind of content in it. It's also that it is just wildly outside the scope of what I end up doing on this channel. So it would just absolutely wreck me in the algorithm. And that would not perform well. Which, unfortunately, I do have to take into consideration since I am paying my bills by playing video games online. Wish it wasn't like that. Yeah. No, I'm not opposed to, like, the game itself. I just... Because I've kind of cultivated the city builder that isn't going to have, you know, toilet humor every 5 seconds in my videos, then I kind of can't... I kind of can't do that on YouTube. Bulldog sauce is kind of like Worcestershire sauce. Okay. See, I saw bulldog and then I thought, oh, maybe it's supposed to be bulgogi, but no, that's not Japanese. That's Korean, and you don't mix those two. Not going to go well. Or maybe it does. I don't know if people are still like rabid, like seething hatred anymore. But why can I not go underneath this? Okay, I guess I can't. Banana ketchup? No, thank you. I don't think I have any interest in trying that. We need to grab some more vegetation. Streams already have toilet humor every... Well, that's because you guys put it in the chat. It's not because I put it in the videos. The only ketchup variant that I like is Whataburger has spicy ketchup. That's good. And then when Shrek, it was either Shrek or Shrek 2 came out, they had a tie-in with Heinz, and they did Shrek purple, or it was Shrek green and Donkey purple ketchup, I think is what it was. And we bought that. We sold the Kroger out of it. I think it was called Easy Squirt, which is a very cursed name. But no, we bought a lot of that stuff. Yeah, the purple ketchup from way back. That's exactly Exactly what I was talking about. In Germany, we have curry ketchup, and I bet that's really good. I would like to go to Germany at some point. But overseas travel is just very expensive, unfortunately. Oh, I guess I'm out of fuel for this. Alright, so back to the leaves we go. Gotta be careful not to get got by one of these guys running around here. I don't want flower petals. Get out of here. I can't do anything with those. Shrek's Easy Squirt Sauce. Yes, that is the only reason I'm letting you get away with that, is because that was actually the name of the product. I know where your mind is going. Don't try me. I too was 14 years old at one point in my life. Not to say I still don't laugh at stuff like that. It's just not something I want to directly promote while I'm doing these streams. I know people watch with their kids. Curry ketchup definitely does sound tasty. And the German mustard, I have been very impressed. Every variety that I've had, I've really, really liked. Water is good. Oh, there's my email from YouTube telling me I'm live. Thank you. An hour and 6 minutes into my stream. And now we can make some biofuel. We'll run that for the next forever. But we gotta get this Logistics Mark IV research done so we can have fuel generators. French mustard with the seeds. I've not actually had that. The only French mustard that I've ever had was French's yellow mustard, which I'm pretty sure is not French, and if it is, then France has some explaining to do. I don't know. I've never really been a fan of the American yellow mustard. It's just always really watery, and it has like the really vinegary taste, but it doesn't really have a lot of flavor to it besides just, I guess, the taste bud equivalent of shock value. Like, if I'm going to have that kind of a taste on my tongue, I want to have some flavor behind it as well. Yeah, the water... Oh, the American like, yellow mustard is terrible. It separates, and when you turn the bottle upside down to squirt it out, it'll, like, spurt out the watery, like... Ugh, it's not good. It is just foul. So, yeah, I very much have a strong distaste for American... I guess they call it deli mustard. So I'll always, if I'm going to put mustard on something, it will be, at the very least, Dijon mustard or spicy brown or something. Hey, WM. America has a lot of explaining to do for the things it calls quote-unquote food. Yes. A lot of the stuff that we put in food is banned by the EU for being toxic, which is kind of a thought-provoking thing. But, neither here nor there. Yeah, Heinz condiments in general I don't think are very good outside of the ketchup. Not officially cheese. Okay, so real American cheese is actually just a variant of cheddar. And it's really good. But most of the pasteurized processed American cheese product that you can buy in the stores is just garbage. But in the U.S., there is a thing that I guess people who are a little older than me will know as government cheese. And that's something they hand out on the food stamps program sometimes, or have in the past. I've never had it, but I've been told the government cheese is extremely good. I'm just going to continue flushing this out. Government cheese is delicious. Yep. Hello. Is that fluffs or floofs with the two U's? But welcome nonetheless. I've eaten MRE cheese. Nothing can kill me. All right, Devilish. I'm sure you've seen this guy, Steve 1989 MRE Info on YouTube. Always, I love his videos, but I'll go and watch him do all the MRE taste tests and stuff, and it can be like the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. And he's like, it's not bad. It's pretty good. Like, what does this guy do where he hasn't been killed by this yet? But I don't know. I just You brought up the cheese, and I just remember him saying every time he gets the cheese, he had some sort of specific thing he says. I don't remember what it was. Ironically enough, government cheese sounds extremely communist. Yeah, it's complicated. Whiz cheese. Okay, we call it cheese whiz, not whiz cheese. But yeah, whiz cheese has a different implication. But yeah, cheese whiz. If you go to Philadelphia, they'll put that sometimes on the Philly cheesesteaks. It's good, but it's really bad for you. Everybody wants the oh yeah, that I think that was the one he was talking about was the jalapeno cheese. But yeah, I don't know why it's so funny to me. It just is. But I need to get copper sheets. That's what I was gonna get was the copper sheets, and I know we're all the way over here, looking at all of our other stuff. But I guess we need to just make a bunch of plastic. So I will I'll get done with that. And then, do I have another fluid buffer in between these? I do. Oh, there's nothing in there anyway. So I'll just flush it. We'll be good. And then we'll come back later to get some more plastic. But I know we're going to need a lot to make all those computers. The fluves or what? Oh, okay. You're meaning extra U's. Sorry, my brain is not firing on all cylinders today. If you couldn't tell from my voice. But we're killing some time, having a good time hanging out with each other anyway. Its value is on average equal to a Skittle pack. Okay, that's come highly regarded then. I don't know. I can imagine that there's in the military some sort of a kind of like an underground market for the components of MREs. And I know, like, theoretically, I've been told you're supposed to eat the entire thing no matter what because it's like a complete day worth of calories and specific macronutrients for whatever. But I cannot imagine everybody eats everything that comes in there. There's probably some sort of shifty trading going on between people. People trade / hoard snacks out in the field. Yep, that makes sense. I mean, honestly, I probably would too. I'm pretty sure the stuff that goes into those is somewhat randomized. So it's like kind of luck of the draw on like what flavor, like juice powder or whatever you'll get, and then I'm sure people get into arguments over who actually gets what. I don't know. I really like the idea, like the concept of the MRA. I think is really cool. Just as a from a standpoint of like humanity conquering nature is like, all right, we have food. Is it great food? No, but it will keep you alive, and you can leave it in a box for 4 years, and then heat it up by leaning it against a rock. It's like, all right, that's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool innovation. Unofficially, we do trade, but it's great when you miss meals often, especially during boat operations. I bet. 7 years. Really? I didn't know it was that long. I still don't have the copper sheets. All right. Because I had a friend when I worked in a restaurant before the pandemic who was a Navy vet. And it was like, I don't know, this guy was awesome, man. He had so many stories of just absolute nonsense that he'd gotten into. I think I mentioned the whole... Oh, did I get this stuck again? Oh, come on. All right. All right, I gotta unstick this. But he was the guy that told me the story about, like, being made to swab the deck in the rain. It's like, what is that? What does that solve? That doesn't do anything. That's just people in charge trying to, like, exert authority on you. But, I don't think we're making the copper sheets over here. I'm pretty sure this is just, wire and cables. But I'm going to check just in case. Game looks really good. It is good. It is very enjoyable. Yeah, I don't have any other storage in here. Okay. And I think I already have this disconnected. Maybe? Or did I just turn all this stuff off? Because this is... It's turned on. It's just not running. Huh. Alright. Well, that works, I guess. Hey, James. We're failing to get JC to continuously say I'm not reading that while laughing. I mean, I've said it like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times now. Been made to wash and scrub catwalks in a rainstorm. That doesn't sound fun. Hoses, detergent, and all. That sounds like a punishment thing more than anything else. Like, work for the sake of work. Like, all right. Had to do similar things, swab the deck in the rain, sweep the water away. I bet. I don't ignore you. I'm literally reading it right now. Oh, okay. So now you're calling me a tsundere. All right. It's not like I want you to ignore me or anything. No. Jeez. We need to make some copper sheets. Let's do that. We'll grab some more copper ingots. I've also heard, I don't know if any of you are Navy or ex-Navy, but that was the one thing the guy like impressed upon me was like, rule number 1, never ever deep clean the coffee pot. And then I said, well, why wouldn't you want to deep clean the coffee pot? It's like, well, it gets seasoned, right? Because you make coffee in this thing continuously for years, and I guess it imbues this flavor into the metal, and like. It's just like guys would get like the most heinous punishments handed down upon them for cleaning the coffee pot. I'm just like, man. I mean, it sounds like something like the outsider that is just complete BS, but then you think about it, you're like, you know what? That actually makes sense. That sounds like something they'd like put somebody on a court-martial for doing. See, I'm gonna watch the Timberborn Hard Mode 22. Have fun, fluffs, floofs, whatever you want me to call you. Appreciate you being here. Like a cast iron pan. Okay, well, all right. I'm not a coffee drinker, so my perspective on some of this is going to be a little bit skewed just because I don't drink it, so I don't really understand. But it just sounded so absurd on a base level of on a base level of you clean something because what it's like you spend half your time in the military cleaning stuff anyway, and then you go and you clean something and they say no, not like that. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. Let's grab some more copper ingots. We'll just drive back over to the actual thing. We have 3 coffee pots in my house, mine, the wife's, and 1 for tea. I feel like that's probably the best anti-violence solution. Just everybody has their own thing, so nobody can be accused of ruining it for anybody else. I can attest to this. I did it once and I had to spend a whole week getting it back to similar taste levels. Oh, that sounds like that's not very fun. Oh, you know, I'm stupid. I forgot I had this whole thing full of copper. All right, we'll just make a whole lot of copper sheets here, because I know I'm going to need a ton of them. All right, time to drink water. If you use the same one for tea and coffee, the tea tastes like coffee, and yeah, okay, I can, again, seasoning. I've learned something. Well, this wasn't today that I learned this, but you know how it goes. It's just so funny to me. Just like the imagery of like you got this like well-meaning like low-ranking I don't know what the Navy calls the lowest seaman or whatever. Yes, the actual term, Alex. I hear you already typing up a storm in the chat while you're on your local train under the Shinkansen line. But just like some like eager guy going in like, oh, I'm gonna do a real good job cleaning today, and then like the commanding officer comes in and he's just like beet red, just like steaming white hot mad. It's like, you did what? Run water through your coffee pot with no coffee. Yeah, so I've done that because we have a Keurig, and sometimes I'll make hot chocolate with it. And I just run it without a pod. We're like, man, this tastes like coffee. Which, you know, coffee tastes good. I just don't want to drink a lot of it because I'm kind of caffeine sensitive. And I don't want to just go out and buy a bunch of decaf. So, whatever. But I'll make some of that stuff, and I'm just like, man, this just does not taste right. How do you take the coffee? I don't. I think I've ever only had it on purpose once, and I think it was black, which is probably why I didn't continue drinking it. But no, it was never something that really appealed that much to me. Although I probably could be conditioned to like it. I don't know, it bugged me when I figured out how expensive it was. 'Cause when I was in college, people would come into the 8 a.m. lecture hall with like a giant Starbucks cup and like, oh wow, okay, so they're getting a coffee nice and early, start their day off. And then I like figured out how much money those cost, and I could not believe it. You got people spending, I don't know, $8-9 every day on one coffee that has, I don't know, half heavy cream and whipped cream and chocolate syrup. Like, that's not coffee, that's a milkshake. But like, I'm just not gonna get into paying for coffee every day. Save a whole bunch of money that way. Oh, excuse me. My God, Devilish. That's funny. I'm not reading it, but that's funny. I wasn't typing up anything. I was checking out if this hotel had an... Well, normally you need somebody else to go with you for that, so have fun with that one. Oh, man. Most people don't actually like the taste of coffee. That's why they put all the BS in it, like chocolate, sugar. Yep, that makes sense. Fun fact, you can add creamer to tea. I've done that. It's very good. Also a coffee fanatic. I have an espresso machine, coffee pot, and a French press, albeit when you learn to make your own, it's better than spending... Yeah. But then, let's be honest, you also spend like hundreds of dollars on the machines, and then before you know it, you're importing the exotic beans from overseas, and it's not really saving that much money at that point, is it? But I don't know. We all have our hobbies. That sounds fun, though. I've always been interested in like the variety of the craft that people come up with when they do coffee stuff. Is just not something that I've chosen to get too into, because I know how my personality works. I'll probably get completely addicted to it, and it's going to cost me a ton of money. Yes, I have someone winky face. She's not too happy. What in the world are you doing making jokes in a live stream chat? Pay attention to your loved ones. I'm half British, so it's always breakfast tea plus milk. See, that sounds good. No, I can always appreciate nice tea. Nice tea, not iced tea, although I do also drink a lot of iced tea because I'm in the American South, and that's apparently the only thing people drink here. Initial investment's expensive, but over time is worth it. Yeah, I mean, if you have it every day, then it makes sense. That's smart, because then you don't have to pay a ton of money and go out somewhere. You can just make it in your kitchen. See, I like this. This is why I like live streams, because I get to do the tedious stuff in the video games that takes forever in a day, and we get to talk at the same time, and I don't have to edit it. I don't enjoy tea. It tastes too much like leaf. I mean, it quite literally is hot leaf juice, to quote a one Iro. But yes, I feel like if you found like a nice quality tea, and it was prepared right, then you'd probably like it, because there's a lot of really bad tea, especially in fast food. If you go to McDonald's and you get the sweet tea, you're going to like go into a diabetic coma. If you get the unsweet tea at McDonald's, you're going to shoot yourself. It's so bad. It is awful. Hot tea, leaf juice. Yep, I see you, James. By that reasoning, coffee tastes like beans. Yes, I also hate beans. I'm just not a fan of the earthy flavor profile. All right, that's fair. So you also would not like mushrooms then? Or I would imagine you might not like mushrooms if you're not a fan of the earthy. Is that a nah you do like mushrooms, or a nah you don't like mushrooms? Chocolate is beans, yes. Well, when I say beans, I'm talking about, like, colloquially in America, like fried, refried beans, black beans, kidney beans, navy beans, pinto beans. People who insist on putting beans in chili, despite the International Chili Society claiming that chili has no beans in it by default, etc. Mushrooms gross me out. They're a fungus. It's an acquired taste. I don't like all mushrooms, but I'm not going to eat them by themselves. But a mushroom, like an actual, like a slice of portobello, grilled really, really nicely on top of a burger with Swiss cheese, is so good. Yeah, I mean, truffle is quite literally something comes out of the ground, so I understand that. If you have a good honey to add to tea, it's great, but contributing to the McDonald's tea, you got to get the 3/4 unsweetened sweet tea. It blends. Yeah, that's what I started doing when I was still going there all the time. Was I would mix it, because if you drink too much of the sweet tea, it makes your teeth hurt. Like, all right, well that's not something that should happen, like, ever. So like, all right, we got to stop getting this. So about the sweetest tea I can tolerate now, after working in a restaurant forever and making gallons of it every day, is Arizona in the gallon jugs. I mean, it's pretty sweet, but it's not like sickening. But I really like the Arizona tea, and they've got unsweet, they've got green tea, they've got all these different other flavors. And it's usually the same price or cheaper than the other bottled teas, and I think it's a little bit higher quality. They don't taste like meat. Well, I mean, they're not meat. I'm talking about truffles, mushrooms, etc. They're like, I don't know, they're like meat adjacent, but I wouldn't consider them to be like a meat. They're a protein, kind of. Pure leaf, subtly sweet, yes. That's very expensive, so I rarely buy it, but it is very good. Chili with beans is technically goulash. Yes. Thank you. Oh, but then there's part two. The hell with what they say about beans with my chili. All right, well, all right, you can have beans with your chili. That's fine. I'm not eating your chili. You make it how you want. But bubble tea. Oh, I can't get into bubble tea. It's like the also, I'm not reading the second half of that message. But the whole like the tapioca pearl being something that you like bite and it bursts in your mouth just feels wrong to me coming out of a beverage. But I love milk tea. I went to our local Thai restaurant for my sister's birthday earlier last week, and I got pad Thai and Thai iced tea, and they put, I guess, condensed milk in it. It's so good. It is so good. And it doesn't need to be sweetened or anything, because, you know, the condensed milk is already sweet by itself. But it's super good. Okay, so now that we have a bunch of these copper sheets, we can hopefully make a whole lot of circuit boards. 274, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll just turn that on real quick. Man, if I was doing this, like, off-stream for, like, a video, this would be miserable. I just sit here all day holding the spacebar down. I know it toggles now. But it used to be you had to either hold it down or put something heavy on top of the spacebar or the mouse button, or push it down and then Alt-Tab out of the game to keep going. Tried boba once, not my thing. It's way too sweet. Yeah, see, that's another one of those things that I feel like can kind of approach the same energy as the overly done Starbucks drinks. I think at this point Starbucks is probably a worldwide thing, but it's especially pervasive in the U.S., where you'll have I don't want to stereotype people, so I won't, but certain people tend to go there more often than others, and you can see them walking around with like a 40-ounce cup full of like chocolate syrup and whipped cream. It's like, I got my morning coffee. Like, no, you don't. That's not coffee. Too many things are overpacked with sugar. Yes, isn't it like actually like much worse for you than fat is in terms of health impact? Like, sodium and sugar are just so much worse for you than actually eating fats, unless you have gallbladder disease, but that's a different story. But I guess the U.S. was effectively brainwashed into thinking that all fat was bad, and then they started putting the fake sugar or the corn syrup or whatever and everything, and now it's like, wow, why is everybody so unhealthy? Well, I don't know. Look at what you're putting in your bodies. It's poison. I say as I sit here drinking Arizona sweet tea, but, you know, nobody's perfect. You can stereotype me. I'm a frog. I'm not going to stereotype you. I like you. I like all of you guys. High fructose corn syrup. Yep. Look at your milk. They add sugar to milk. Really? That seems bad. I don't know. I've never had raw milk before because, I mean, I didn't grow up near a dairy farm. But I've had farm fresh eggs. They're so much better. So much better than the ones you can buy in the store. It's just really, really, really good quality stuff. So I'd be interested in what raw milk tastes like. It's probably going to have a whole lot more fat in it because they don't skim the cream off the top. Why would you put sugar in milk? The answer to your question is America, because our food is all poison. I know those of you living in Europe probably have access to a lot healthier stuff. Check the packaging. Well, I'm not going to get up right now to go look, but I will. I mean, I know the milk has sugar in it. I didn't think they added it, unless it's like chocolate milk, because obviously there's going to be extra sugar in that. Isn't it a thing where if you buy the milk at the grocery store, it's all, when they make it, they skim all of the fat off and then they selectively add it back in to make skim 1%, 2%, and whole milk, which is, I don't know, 4% or something. 4% milk fat. It's enough to be a flavor enhancer. Americans have been conditioned to enjoy sweeter food. Yes. Again, high fructose corn syrup. That's, I don't know. Potentially something that could devolve into dangerous political debate, but let's not do that. Suffice to say, it's probably not the ideal thing to be putting in our bodies. Yes, bread has sugar added. I know about the bread. I hate bread. I hate the packaged garbage bread you buy in the grocery store. Fresh bakery bread is always good. So we try to find some of that stuff, but of course it doesn't stay good as long because it doesn't have preservatives in it. But the fresh sourdough I really like. French bread is usually too crunchy for my taste, but that's also good. If you can afford to maintain chickens, they literally offset the cost of it, especially now. Your milk from cows is loaded with a I'm not gonna. I almost got me. Loaded with a bunch of fat. Good for you, but an acquired taste. Yeah, I think it's also something that, like, I think Americans in particular have been conditioned to drink a lot more milk than we probably should because of the dairy lobby. Like, you look at the rest of the world, like, most adults don't drink milk. Like, kids are going to drink it to get calcium, and that's it. And meanwhile, in America, we have, like, literal ads for drink milk. But, like, why? It's fine, whatever, but it just seems like it's a little bit over the top. Not a bandicoot. Hello, good morning. It is currently 5:37 p.m. for me, but I know it's morning for you. Added sugar for flavor. Yeah, I don't know exactly how yeast works, but I do remember something about it needing sugar to activate, but I don't think it's that much. I don't know. I'm not a baker. I tried a couple times and it did not go well, so like, I'm going to just let other people do this. Oh man, I still have 75 of these to make. This is why people automate this stuff, he says, as he continues not to automate it. Stopped buying bacon just because I couldn't find any without... There's so much sugar in the bacon now. Because people get accustomed to just having sugar in absolutely everything. What I mean is all bread that uses yeast has some sugar. Yeah. Yeah, by virtue of having yeast in there. No, but like, if you take a look at like Wonder Bread or the grocery store brand, like real cheap bread, there's so much sugar in it. Technically is the best form of correct. Yes, you are correct. I've been conditioned to know the difference between whole 1% and 2% milk. Yeah, I can also taste it. I cannot stand whole milk. I've got to have maximum 2%. It's just way too much fat. But I'm also probably lactose intolerant. But you know how that goes. Nobody consumes more dairy than lactose intolerant people. Cheese is good. Actual cheese. Like, fresh, not processed cheese is so good. Like, oh man, life-changing advice I received was buy fresh Parmesan, like in a block, and grate it yourself when you have spaghetti or whatever. It's so much better. The other stuff tastes like sawdust. Like, I think it pretty much like actually has cellulose in it, so it doesn't clump. But if you shred it on whatever the plain shredder, grater, whatever that thing's called, it's so good. It's just incredibly good. All right, so now I'm out of plastic. Let's go get some more plastic. Where's my car? There it is. Brie is awesome. It's such good cheese. All right, can I jump this? Yes. Used to live next to a dairy farm. Real fresh milk is way different. It's like drinking heavy whipping cream. Yeah, I probably wouldn't like it then. Grocery store milk is basically white water. Yeah, sounds about right. Cheese on bread, it is. It's very tasty. Technically, we're all lactose intolerant, he says, driving into this thing and high-centering the car on a spike of iron. Anatomically, some are worse than others. I can literally eat cheese by itself and consider it a meal. I feel like that's probably not advisable, but it sounds very tasty. There's a rock there. Yes, there is. Very observant. Don't like milk, but I like other forms of dairy. I am a cheese fiend. Any type of mac and cheese is just going to automatically be a winner for me. Blue box, craft, poverty spec, price first box, whatever it is, or the homemade stuff with the crust on top, I'm going to eat it. I don't care. It's all good. It always destroys me afterwards, though. The rock looks great for heating up an MRE. Yep, there you go. Pour your water in that flameless ration heater and go to town. Buffalo, oh my God, man. Buffalo chicken mac and cheese is so good. That's like my go-to if I'm making my own mac and cheese. I'll put a little bit of hot sauce in there, a little bit of chicken. That is choice. It is so good. All right, I want to get this going faster. I don't know if it can support it. It takes 30 per minute, but this buffer is full. How much are we producing on our oil extractor? We're producing 30 per minute. So I think we've actually matched. Did I downclock this? I did. So that's at 25%. This is at 100%, producing 20 per minute. So if we want, we have to overclock this. Or we'd have to put a second one in. I don't think we want to do that yet. We might want to try something else. I guess it's okay for now. Now that I have enough circuit boards, hopefully to make a bunch of computer. Oh, I only have 93. It's 10 per computer. Oh, okay. So I need 600. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We gotta overclock this. So, is this gonna get mad at me here? 45. It might shut off our power here. But 44.4. I love I can just pipe this in now. That's so much more convenient. 37.5%. Alright, so that's going out now. That should be producing considerably faster. This is going to produce how much? 15 per minute. How much is this going to consume? 42 per minute. Okay, I think we're good. We can actually dial this down, I think, and save a little bit of power. I'll just have that at 52 because I don't want to pipe it in. 15. Oh, I can go even slower. All right. There we go. Save some power so we can produce stuff a little bit quicker. Yeah, well, that's another 50% on top of that. That's making good plastic here. All right. What's your favorite super metahuman character? See, I don't know. I've not really ever been big into like the superhero kind of stuff. But when you say metahuman, you talking about like an anthropomorphic superhero kind of thing that whatever, or what? Great to catch a stream. Hey Rick, how would beaver milk taste? I don't know. Probably like milk. I truthfully do not have an answer for you on that. Let's grab a little bit more. All right, so we got almost 600 plastic. I guess we can wait for this to get another 20. Then we'll head back. Superpowers. Well, that's a hard one. Again, it's not really ever been something I've really focused on very much at all, unfortunately. So I don't know that I have an answer for you. So I'll turn it around and ask you a question. Is Batman a superhero? Yes or no? Because Superman has powers because of his abilities as a Krypton, whatever, resident super person. Batman's just got money, but he has all this technology and all this access to stuff. But is he a superhero? He's marketed as one. Okay, all right. That's an interesting angle. Not a Bandicoot says yes. He's extremely smart. So intelligence, if it's extremely advanced, I would probably consider that to be a superpower because it is above what a normal human can do. By that measure, Iron Man is just the Iron Man is just like the compilation of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos spat out in one super capitalist rich guy who made a cool suit in a cave with a box of scraps. That's a great movie, man. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. It's like one of the best lines in any one of those kind of movies I've ever seen. Does he invent his own stuff or does someone else? Okay, so that's the thing. I'm not really up to speed on that much Batman lore, but I'm pretty sure doesn't Bruce Wayne have like an entire company that makes all this stuff? Like he does like some inventing, but he doesn't actually make all of it himself. I think that's what it was. Do you need to have a superpower to be a superhero? Well, that depends on your definition of a superhero. In the movies, it's Morgan Freeman who does. Yep. I've seen Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I did not see the last one. And then, what was that awful Batman movie from the 90s? I can't remember what it was called, but I watched that and I was like, this is awful. Why are we watching this? I later found out there was a very specific reason why the person I was with chose that movie, and I completely missed the point, but that's neither here nor there. Let's see. The company invents the stuff, and no one suspects it's him that plays the bat. See, that's the thing that's kind of like, I can't suspend the disbelief that nobody knows that he's Batman, and that nobody knows that Clark Kent is Superman. Like, are you serious? A guy works as a newspaper reporter who's, like, taller than everybody, is built like a brick you-know-what house, and just disappears randomly, conveniently when bad things happen. Yet there's no chance. There's no chance people don't know. Doesn't DC actually have sort of a trademark on the word superhero? I have no idea. Would not surprise me. Yes, James, that's correct. All right, so I need to make sure I'm leaving some of these plastics for computers. So I think... Wait, why can I only make 3 of these? Oh, I must be missing... Oh, it's the screws. That's exactly what it is. Someone in the last Dark Knight movie tries to blackmail him. Didn't that happen in, like, the second movie, too? Isn't that, like, the whole, like, central thing? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen those movies. Because I know in the like the second movie he gets like lured to that warehouse because he's trying to find Rachel or whoever. But the third movie is the one with Bane. I know that. And that's like the football stadium scene. But I need to get screws. That's what I should be doing. Is I should be automating these screws to be much faster. But I just kind of don't. Catwoman litter. Okay, well, Catwoman's not like universally a part of the Batman lore in every single installment. I don't think. All I know about Catwoman is Halle Berry in the 90s. I think it was the 90s, maybe early 2000s. That's the kind of thing that sticks with you. Anyway, moving on. We can make 16 computers. I mean, again, I'm not someone who's really deep into the superhero meta or whatever, but I really, really liked Heath Ledger as Joker. Really, really fantastic performance. Should be automating a whole lot more? Absolutely. Absolutely need to be. Why do you keep going back to the manual craft bench? Well, okay. So part of it's because I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to set up these factories. And the other part is it lets us have these conversations while we're waiting for this to just get manually pounded out. Favorite super meta? See, I don't even know that I have a favorite. It's not something I ever think about. Actor makes or breaks the film. Absolutely. All right, I can make 2 more computers. Passable writing helps, not that. Yeah, it's I feel like movies lately, the past, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years, have kind of been afraid for the most part to actually do, I guess, risky things with writing. It's like everything is really straightforward. I'm talking about like Western movies. We'll get to other stuff in a bit, but it seems like it's either completely incomprehensible art film that you have to have like 18 different layers of a specific cultural knowledge to understand, or it's just like slop half the time. It's like, all right, I don't want to be involved with this. But I think that's part of the reason why a lot of young people get so into stuff like anime that has different... Now, I'm not talking about the garbage. I know Alex is sitting there waiting to type it. Oh, did you watch insert thing that's basically porn? No. But there's a lot of really well-written stuff that comes out of Japan in the animated scene. I think it's because they respect the medium a lot more than, say, like American companies do, where it's just like, okay, anything that's animated is either going to be for little kids or it's going to be like Family Guy or The Simpsons, where they just run it into the ground over 40 years. But there's good story out there if you know where to go find it. But you will miss a lot more than you hit when you just consume random stuff. Or within 5 seconds you know the whole plot. Yeah, it just depends. People love tropes. Superhuman or metahuman? All right. So all right, you're going to be insistent. I really, really, really liked Deadpool when I went and saw. I think I saw 2 of those movies. I don't know if there's only 2, but I really, just really like the meta humor that Deadpool has in the comics and the movies, and of course the performance in the movie as well is really good. Is John Wick really a metahuman though, or is he just a guy with plot armor and a rage for his dead dog? There's an anime recently that got released that was supposed to be super good, got nominated for an Oscar. Are you talking about the Miyazaki Boy in the Heron movie? I haven't seen that. No, Alex, I'm not watching Psychopaths or School Days or High School DxD. Not happening. Absolutely not happening. Supposedly working on a 3rd Deadpool. So that's the other thing is like people just milk franchises until they are completely worthless. It's like it's okay to let something have an ending and just be done. Yeah, it seems like as far as the Oscars go, the only anime that ever really get any attention are like the really huge releases that have a lot of cross-cultural appeal, like pretty much anything Miyazaki makes. But there's some other like smaller stuff that's really, really good that never really gets that much attention outside of its own little corners of the internet. But let's grab some steel pipes here. Let's grab a bunch of these because I don't want to deal with this too much more. Would you say that if you just made tens of millions of dollars from your last project? Okay, well, if your goal in life is just to amass as much money as possible, then all right, sure, do whatever. But if you like creating things just for the sake of making something cool and telling a story and emotionally connecting with people, then I feel like you would be disinterested in just extracting as much revenue from it as possible and instead make things that stick with people. That's what I would want to do if I were producing things like that. I wouldn't want to just crap out a whole bunch of garbage just to make money. Like, you make money doing all sorts of stuff now. You don't have to sell your soul to the creative demons and just make garbage. All right, now what are we talking about? Whose Japanese was JC level? Are you talking about John Wick? I haven't seen the last one. It's been a while since I've seen any of them, honestly. Screws! Oh, we really need more screws. All right, we're going to have to build some more screw stuff here. We've got iron here. We've got our iron rods. Do I have... These are going in here to make more screws. These are backing up. So I know we can make more screws. These are just made in a constructor. So I think what we'll do... We're just going to make some sort of super ugly thing here. The conveyor splitter. Yes. Yes, we will make hideous, ugly things. Give me a constructor. Make the most ugly things possible. It is our moral imperative to create hideous, ugly factories. Alright, give me... Oh, seriously, alright. I guess I just have to find a slightly better place for this. I don't really need to put it right here. I just kind of wanted to. Alright. Is that going to connect? Yes. Cool. Screws, screws, screws. So we will supercharge this thing and then hook it up to... Come on, push the right button. There you go. And there we go. I think that will be fine. Just let me get a storage container. Yes, making an ugly... Oh, I don't have the iron rods. Okay. Well, now I will have the iron rods. Then I've got to catch up on chat. You know, when I actually play the game, I end up not looking at what you guys are saying. Alright, that's not really supposed to go like that, but we don't really care. That's going to be just fine. Cool. Okay. Now I got to go back and read all this stuff. Diehard One Piece fan, the film Red was just okay. Yeah, see, that's another thing. I can't get into it. It's too far gone. What, 1,100 episodes? I'm sure it's good. I've literally only ever heard universal praise for it. Neo and the Matrix. Oh, I have not seen those movies in forever. That was a good one. John Wick versus Jason Bourne. Yeah, that would be a fun one. We would talk about anti-heroes. I would just say the best one would be the guy on the burning bike. I don't know. I don't know who that would be. Ghost Rider. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, he's cool. Does Iron... Oh, jeez. All right. I know where you're going with that. I haven't watched more than 2 minutes of the stream. I've just been BSing. Hey, that's fine. We're hanging out. Over 1,000 episodes. Yes. Many, many episodes. You could have studied Japanese to a level you don't need... Okay, so... And here's the thing that I've noticed. Is that in the anime that I've seen... When they have a native, quote-unquote, native English-speaking character, the English is almost always terrible. It is, like, really bad. Unless they find, like, a bilingual voice actor or somebody. There's a couple of those that have been pretty good. But it's just always so funny. Like, it ends up sounding less natural than if they had just, you know, kept it in Japanese and with subtitles. It's just always hilarious to me. Like, you have a character who's supposed to be, like, from America or Britain or whatever, and then they talk and it's like, This is not English. they're saying English words, but the cadence is wrong and the pronunciation is like so wrong that it sounds like different words. That's the fun of Japanese anime, as opposed to what other kind of anime. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of really bad stuff and like absolute garbage. But there's good stuff too. Haven't seen One Punch Man. I've heard that's good. Mob Psycho 100 is extremely good. I'm in the middle of going through that slowly. But I've been very impressed with that. Japanese pronunciation, say bottle opener. I don't even know. You just add like the oo sound to the end of everything. I know they're like the vowel ending of sentence or not, vowel ending of words is a big thing. But I don't know enough about pronunciation to even attempt to do it correctly or incorrectly. I know they're doing a remake of One Piece. And if I was going to get into it, I probably would start there. But I don't have a lot of faith in Netflix as a company that can remake stuff and not have it be garbage. The Avatar: The Last Airbender remake is very concerning. I think it's probably going to be terrible. But I hope that's not true. But everything I've seen about it is just like, really? Like, you're gonna throw away like one of the best original IPs in the Western world for the past 30 years? Just because you want to have some sort of creative difference over something. It just made me mad. So I'll probably watch, like, I don't know, first couple episodes, and if it sucks, I'll just erase it from my memory. Would Invincible count as non-Japanese anime? Okay, well, you gotta ask yourself the question, what qualifies something as anime? I've always been told it has to be produced by a Japanese studio in Japan with Japanese artists, voice actors, etc. So there was a thing, I think it's one of those anime websites like My Anime List or whatever refused to list the Scott Pilgrim anime because they said it wasn't anime because it was an American IP, even though I can't remember what studio made it, Trigger or somebody, but even though it was pretty much entirely made in Japan with the Japanese dub, and they had the English one as well, but they're like, oh, it's not anime. It's like, okay, we have a Japanese studio that made it with Japanese artists, Japanese voice actors, whatever, but it's an American IP, so I guess that doesn't count. I don't know. But then you also have stuff like the really old stuff, like what, Anne of Green Gables, I know was a thing that got an anime in, like, I don't know, the 70s or 80s, and that's not a Japanese IP. So, I don't know. I think people just get really too into stuff and just want to be mad for the sake of being mad. I digress. We're making computers. We're trying to, at least. Oh, I'm out of plastic. Okay. Heavy modular frames. What else do I need for those? Okay, I've got... I can make 10. Or maybe 11 of these with the screws. So we need to make regular modular frames. Oh, guess what? Iron rods. These iron rods, I swear. Just grab a stack of these. I remember I watched the Scott Pilgrim movie when it first came out. I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. But then you go back and you look at it, you're like, wait a second, this is a little sus. Just a little suspicious what ends up going on there. But no, to answer your original question, I would not consider, and I think most people would not consider Invincible to be anime because it is a Western animation project for the Western market made by a Western studio. Let's see. Chinese and Korean anime. Okay, but... Okay, now we're going to get into brass tacks here, because if you look at the credits of stuff, a lot of Japanese anime are being outsourced to Japan and Korea to do, like, in-between animations and different things. So then you have to what was it, like the Ship of Theseus problem or whatever, where it's like how much of the original can be removed and replaced before it stops being the same thing? I don't know. I mean, anybody can draw. I'm not saying you have to be a specific national origin to draw pictures and animate them. That's absolutely not true. But people who are really, really into like the whole purist thing, well, also there's other questions you can ask about that, but just seems people just want to be mad. Anime doesn't mean animation. Well, it's the Japanese term for animation, which is why people... One of the reasons why people tend to just associate the specific term anime as a Japanese contraction word or whatever with only Japanese animation. Oh my god, Rick. I mean, yes, but that's also from Japan. Simpsons is outsourced to Korea. Yes, as was a lot of Avatar, The Last Airbender in the early 2000s. Anyway, we got heavy modular frames. I'm going to put in what we have right now. So we need 41 computers, and we need 8 heavy modular frames. We need to get more regular modular frames and then more screws. And I think one of these was producing regular modular frames at one point, and then we might have turned it off. So let's I really should just put a ramp there. That's making stators. Was it this guy who was making... No, reinforced plate. How do you make the modular frames again? Is it reinforced plates and yes. Iron rods. Yep, can never have enough of those. Let's just grab a bunch of these. I need more screws. Oh, I just took something that uses more screws. All right, that's going to be a fun problem to solve later. But we can go ahead and grab some more of these. Just get 3 stacks of those. And that should allow us, I think, to get all of our heavy modular frames once I actually make the rest of the modular frames. Alright, now I gotta scroll back and read a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I'm off. Thanks for being here, Blubs Blabs. Good to see you. If you left already, sorry. If you look at, like, say, a car in the U.S., you can take off the tire, still a car, take the door, still a car, the hood, truck, the lid, the engine, still a car, but if you cut the roof off, it's not a car. I mean, it's still a car, it just is a car without a roof on it. Call it a cabriolet. We call it a convertible because Americans are too stupid to use actual foreign words. Only half joking. But, anyway, let's make a bunch of these, modular frames. That's always been interesting to me how, like, the European car community will have completely different terms for stuff that the Americans will call something else. Or especially the British. It's always kind of confused me. Like, what's a bonnet? And it's like, okay, well, it's a thing you wear on your head, and it's got whatever on it. But then in the U.S., we just call it a hood. And that's because the same thing that they would call a bonnet, you might call a hood depending on what, I don't know. Complicated. The boot was the funniest one to me. It's like, who decided the trunk was going to be called a boot? Like, what about that says boot? Legally, it's no longer a car, so convertibles aren't cars. Or are you talking about a car that's not designed to be a convertible that you cut the roof off of and then it doesn't have safety certification anymore or something? I don't know. Okay, because you have, say, a convertible that doesn't have a soft top. It's only a hard top that just completely gets detached. You're saying that's not a car? When the roof is not attached to it? I don't know. I feel like this is rapidly approaching a discourse that I am not equipped to fully understand. Oh, I need more screws. All right. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, 400. I need more than that. Got to get a whole bunch of these things. Yep, I only have 13 because now we're making a whole bunch of those. All right. MX-5, yes, we call that a Miata in the U.S. Or it used to be called a Miata. It might actually be called an MX-5 now. But the 90s ones, in a Miata, maybe? The really small one with the pop-up headlights. That is so small. Like, you drive that in the U.S., you're gonna get killed. Too many other big cars on the road. But those are fun. All right, I've got 5 of these. I need to have 3 more. So to make that... Oh, now I need encased industrial beams. Oh, I don't have any of this? Steel beams or concrete. Okay. Well, we'll go grab some steel beams. I know we need to automate all this. We will at some point. But for right now... Right now, I don't think that's something we want to get into. I also don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stream because my voice is starting to give out. I need to sneeze a whole lot. And I have to record tomorrow's Timberborn as well. So we'll see what happens. Americans are just strange. Absolutely. You are correct. Worked at a salvage yard and we could only take cars without roofs if they didn't have a title because it's... Really? That's interesting. I'm sure there's some sort of very specific, like, salvage law related to that. But I'm not familiar. Okay, those are pipes. I don't need those. I need the beams. Oh, good. I'm so glad we have a lot of these. It's such a pain when you don't have those. Weight reduction for speed, yeah, and then all of your crash test rigidity is gone. You can't transfer forces that safely without the roof on there. One of the weird U.S. law loopholes. Oh, there's a ton of those. Alex says, I'm standing 10 meters above the sea and rocks on a 100-year-old wooden temple shrine walkway. The walkway slopes toward the drop-off at about 10 degrees. The wooden railing is 30 centimeters high. So they want you to die, is what you're saying. That does not seem very safe. All right, so let's come over here and make some more encased concrete, whatever. Yeah, there we go. Encased industrial beams. We'll end up needing these for the Mark IV conveyor belts anyway, so that'll be fine to have those there. I can't remember what the Mark V conveyor belt is made out of, but I think it's one of those really frustrating, annoying things to make. As the Mark III is the steel beams, Mark IV is the encased industrial beams. I want to say it has to be... There's like an alloy ingot or something. Would you like to know what it's a shrine to? I mean, I couldn't possibly guess. There's all these hundreds and hundreds of different shrines, I'm sure. Aluminium. That's another thing. I don't know why. I don't know why. In British English, it's aluminium, but in American English, it's aluminum. You're a bad influence. Oh, don't ask him to do a flip. He might actually do it. Don't do that. That's such a bad idea. All right. I can make 3. Perfect. We'll just get this out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to be done with these. We just need to make 41 computers. Oh, that's going to take so long. Just automate stuff, yes, but that would take longer than just getting this done. We can set that up after. So we need a lot of plastic. I'm making 41 of these. I gotta have... Oh, no. Oh, no, I gotta have, like, 4,000 circuit boards. No, 400 circuit boards, not 4,000. Math is hard. So circuit boards also need plastic. Wire, I have cables I have way too many of. And screws, we already know what the deal is with screws. So I guess we can go get some more plastic. It should be making a decent bit now. So we will make our way back over there. Go to Discord off-topic channel. I really don't check the Discord very often. I probably should be better about that. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. All right. I'm going to be responsible, and I'm going to build a ramp over this so I don't have to do this again. And then we will just turn this around. Hopefully that doesn't result in crashing. Oh, that absolutely is. That absolutely is going to result in crashing. All right, we'll put a 2-meter ramp there instead. That should work. Called aluminum to make it sound more like platinum and thus more real. That's an interesting theory. Math is better than mine? I hope not. I weep for you if that's the case. About bye peeps. See you, James. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Okay, where's more stuff I can harvest? I guess we're just going to have to figure something out. One plus one is 2. I know that much. Window? That's not even a number. Yeah, I cannot wait to have the actual packaged fuel. That's going to be so convenient. Because then I can just run this thing on that forever. It'll make it nonstop. Yeah, that should be enough. What was it a shrine to? Yeah. Oh, okay, you posted pictures. All right. I'll take a look. Second, I gotta pull my phone up here. Oh, this isn't something obscene. Why is the engine on this cutting out so much? Bee-related myth. I'm gonna have to go watch that. Bees are very interesting creatures. Are you serious? Oh my god. Oh, that's very Japanese. Very Japanese. Thank you. All right, let's grab some plastic and get out of here. Oh, my storage is full. Okay. Well, we will put some stuff in the car then. Oh, I need to do something with all this quartz here. All right, I can grab 2 more stacks of plastic. Or all of it, actually. All right. That's some sort of help, I guess. Flush this one more time. And then we'll be on our way after I make some more fuel. If I even have space to make it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, there it is. I don't have space. That's fine. I can just wait until this is out. I need to put a what do you call it? A foundation here so I can actually drive properly. Bountiful Mountains? Sure. Call it that. Alright, so I think what we're going to do, run that guy over. Alright, there we go. I'm going to research this fuel generator, and then I think I'm going to try to build at least one, and then I might have to call it for today because I'm going to be spent voice-wise. So I need to record an hour of stuff for tomorrow. I don't know, so maybe another 15 minutes or so. We'll see. Depending on what the requirements are to actually build the fuel generator, I do not remember what it is. I am a little irritated. I couldn't figure out how to do the promotional gift subs. They emailed me like 5 times about it. Like, oh, try this out. And then I go to like look up information on it and I can't find it. It's like, that's irritating. And we're just about out of the fuel logs here. Alrighty. So we got... Oh, I can't make the computers because I don't have space in inventory. Alright, so I guess... oh, I can't make that because I don't have... Yep. Yep. I very clearly did not think this through. What is this? Color card? I don't care about that. Alright, now I've got space. But I don't have the circuit boards. I don't really need those quite yet. So I guess I'll just make this computer, and then we'll go from there. Then I'll need 40. It'll be a little easier to plan math-wise. All right, so 40 computers. You need 400 circuit boards. I don't know why I couldn't remember what that was called, so I need to make 201 more of those. Cable's a non-issue. Plastic is not going to be an issue. And then the screws are going to be horrendous. We're going to need like 2,000 screws. Fortunately, we have most of the rest of that already. I really need to put something there, but I probably won't. At least not right now. 3 plus 5 is 8. Oh, you want me to go look at more pictures of the definitely a shrine to mountains? Alright. What else is in here? Oh, see, that's a really nice view of the sea. And a very inadequate fence. I have to imagine that is just incredibly unsafe in an earthquake. I know Japan just had one beginning of January. Hold up. Hold up. I made the mistake of going into another channel in the Discord, and now I just saw... I don't know if Jason's in chat or not, but posted on the Timberborn channel. There's now a co-op multiplayer mod. Beaver Buddies mod. That is fascinating. I might actually have to get into that. I don't know how I would choose who I play with, but that would be interesting. That could be a fun stream thing. I would have to be very careful about who who else would be on the mic with all this stuff, but we'll see. That could be a fun idea for a live stream. 5 factorial is 120. No, I didn't miss that. You didn't ask me. But I also would not have known off the top of my head that that was 120. Yeah, I think it would be a whole lot of fun. It would have to be a live stream thing and not videos because you get the banter in the live chat. You were in the onsen when the earthquake showed. That sounds terrifying. There's a webcam of, I think I've talked about this before. There's a small local commuter train line I forget what region, what prefecture, whatever it's in. But I've been watching that webcam. I had it up on my third monitor for like, I don't know, 9 months or whatever, and it has you see the DMUs pop by every 15 minutes. It's like, oh hey, that's cool. And it's there's a bunch of cherry blossom trees right there. In the spring they bloom, and it's really nice. So I loaded up the stream after the earthquake, and it had pointed the camera completely different direction, so you actually like get to see the street and like people walking, cars driving. And they didn't fix it until last week. I guess they either didn't know or didn't care, but that was interesting. Because, I don't know, where I live in the U.S., we don't really have earthquakes pretty much ever, and if we do, they're very, very mild, so you're going to miss it unless you're, I don't know, watching a seismograph or something. It is unbelievable the amount of stuff. Where am I? Okay, here we are. The amount of earthquake stuff that Japan has to deal with, and all the engineering and the structures to keep them safe, and the different types of earthquake ratings and everything. It's very, very interesting. Oh, good. I actually have screws. All right. Let's go make some computers. All right. I can make 14. I need to make 40. That's going to take a long time. See, it's so weird that Australia doesn't have earthquakes, considering they're also on the Pacific Plate. Well, near the Pacific Plate. Australia is its own plate. But, you think you would have to deal with tsunamis because of this stuff. I guess that only matters if you're directly on a fault line. Because I know that's why California has had some really terrible earthquakes. Because there's a couple different faults along the California coast. And through it at some spots. Fault lines too far out and too deep? Okay, makes sense. Precariously balanced wooden shrine. See, if I ever get to go to Japan, I'd like to just go and see a bunch of those shrines. They're really interesting designs. I love the is that like a specific term for the architecture? I know it's Shinto, a lot of those shrines are. But I just think it's really nice how everything is like the wood joinery that doesn't use screws or nails or anything. It's just the wood is cut in a way where it fits perfectly together and doesn't move. Really, really cool. I need 26 more computers. Oh, cables. Cables, cables, cables. That's what I was going to grab and I didn't. I also don't have active volcanoes. Yeah, I'm waiting for the Yellowstone supervolcano to erupt. Because that's going to pretty much put an end to everything in the U.S. So we'll see what happens with that one. That's not even on a fault line. It's just a volcano. There's all sorts of like conspiracy theories about that stuff. It's very intriguing, but can be dangerous if you're susceptible to that kind of stuff. Get your brain poisoned by nonsense. But the like everything surrounding the Mount St. Helens eruption. You take a look at, like, people are like, oh, it's never going to do this, it's never going to do this, and then people were like, oh, well, it actually is because we're measuring this stuff. Like, no, it's not going to happen, and then all of a sudden, like, half the mountain just explodes. It's like, all right, maybe, listen to people who actually research stuff. Plugged together with a third piece of wood, yes. Talking about the joinery. All right, so I think we're going to have to make another 16 or 17 computers. And that's going to require us to go get some more plastics so we can make circuit boards. Or maybe it's copper sheets, I think. A shrine to pray for... Wait, is that actually a thing? I mean, it would not surprise me at all. That's what that was. Wonder if coral reef mitigates the threat of tsunami. That would be interesting. I thought all the coral reefs were kind of dying out because of ocean pollution and warming temperatures. That's what I had heard. I am not a marine biologist, so do not take anything I say as gospel truth in that regard. But I remember that being... That's steel. I need to go over here. I remember that being a thing that was hotly debated and discussed when I was in high school, college. So I gotta make... There we go. I got 3 stacks here. make some copper sheets, and then once we actually have the power to support giant factories, we're going to automate all this stuff. It takes a lot of time. Coral reefs do reduce tsunami intensity. See, that makes sense because the water has to go through somewhere. And that's also in the U.S. North Carolina, if MP3 is still here, they have barrier islands that mitigate a lot of, well, the Atlantic doesn't really have tsunamis, but mitigates a lot of the really bad waves when you have these barrier islands. And I know that's not like a thing everywhere, but the east coast of the U.S. has several areas that have those. Mangroves do the same. Yes. Erosion protection plants. Very fascinating. And we talked about kudzu before, but in the south of the United States, that's why people started planting kudzu for erosion control, and then it just took over everything. Devilish, thanks for the $1.49. That's almost enough to buy a Costco hot dog and a Pepsi. I unfortunately cannot get to Costco before it closes, but I will think of you the next time I have one. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Just about done with the copper sheets. That might still not be enough to make the rest of our circuit boards. We'll see what happens. We might have to go get another batch of plastic. Devilish, that's not where that's supposed to be going, and you know it. You never underestimate the ability of this chat to make things unnecessarily dirty. Weirdos. Alright, we got 150 of these copper sheets. Let's make some more circuit boards. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to go get more plastic. Don't have water problems in the high mountain desert. I can't imagine you have those water problems, but you probably have some others. Depending on where you're talking about relative to high mountain desert. I know it's an issue in California in the high desert with flooding when it rains, because there's basically no water. So when you get all of it at once, the land can't absorb it, and then it causes all sorts of crazy stuff. No. No. Those of you who watch the VOD without live chat, you're missing out. But also, some of the stuff people say you probably don't want to read anyway, so I guess just keep on doing whatever you're doing. I don't know, if you're watching a VOD 2 hours and 23 minutes into me doing Satisfactory in manual mode, then I don't know, you're a more patient person than I am. But I digress. We just got to get this finished. We'll go grab some more plastic, and then I think that should allow us to wrap up our milestone. We'll research it, and then I'll try to get our fuel generator up and running, and then, like I said, we're going to call it after that, so my voice can heal for 2 hours and then I record beavers. You guys speculate the wildest stuff, I'm telling you. No. We're not going there. Okay, we're going to run out of plastic right now, so let's... Oh, I can't make computers without plastic anyway, but I do have 86. And to make another 26 computers, I've got to have 260. So, yeah, definitely we need a lot. Where is my car? I ask that every single time. And now I can actually put the fuel in, I think. Unless I already did. That's going to be a problem. Where's my... biofuel. Did I already? No, I couldn't make it. I think that's what it was. There we go. Always like, dude, where's my car? Yep, you know it. Every single time. I'm in a constant state of not having any idea where my car is. Alright. So now I've got enough to get there in my inventory. Actually, this might not be enough to get there if I only have 3 left now. Oh well. We'll see. Anyone else having problems with gifting memberships? I have not been able to gift my promotional ones, which has been irritating. But you don't have access to the same control panel. I gotta figure that out before the next stream, because I always wanted like give you guys stuff, and I finally get the opportunity to do it, and then it's just like, no, you can't do that. Oh, now we're out of gas for biofuel, but I have 32 there, so that's fine. Oh, Devilish with the gift membership to, looks like Ainsley Steen. Thanks very much. Welcome, welcome. I always wonder how it assigns memberships that are gifted. So I feel like it's got to be based off of watch time on streams or something. Because it's people will get them that I've never seen their name come up in chat for like talking or anything. But they'll comment on videos. So I don't know, maybe there's some sort of specific thing I don't really understand. We'll make some more biofuel. Unless I'm about to get bodied by one of those weird ant things. Oh, yep, there it goes. Well, that's an alpha hog. Alright, get back here. This thing's got some juice to it. Do I have space for hog remains? I probably shouldn't. It'll still be on the ground for plenty long enough. Alright, well, I am going to go ahead and just go over there. Even got memberships when I'm not in the stream? Yes, because you have a history of being in streams, I think is what it does. Hey, BS Vlog. We got, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes left in stream, but glad to see you. Now I can actually make stuff without getting bodied by the mobs over here. History of being unspeakable in streams? I mean, no. Not necessarily. Alright, let's go grab plastic. How much do we have? 558. Okay, that works. I'm not going to dump this because we're about to have the fuel actually usable as soon as we finish this research. So, if we check our recipe for the circuit board, 4 plastic per circuit board, I need to make another 100 something, so might be enough to make all the circuit boards, but it's not going to be enough to make the computers too, so we are going to have to wait a little bit to make some more. So I guess we can just keep making biofuel for the time being. Let's walk around and gather up some scraps. Oh, it looks like Cruz and Jay's got a gift membership from Jacob. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. And welcome. Seems to work. Yes, it does. So I don't know. I think there's just some sort of weird thing with certain YouTube accounts and the memberships. So I know the brand accounts cannot receive gift memberships. But I don't know if they also can't buy them. Not sure. Op test Saturday. What's that in reference to? Oh, are you talking about what you just did was a test of the thing? I don't know. My brain doesn't always want to work correctly. Satisfactory. Okay. Yep. My brain is just dumb. Disregard. So what's going to be really funny is when we go in here and we get all of our plastic and get back, and then we need like one more. Well, it's not making it fast enough for us to really wait anymore, so we'll just do that. Actually, you know what? No, we can be smart. We can be smart because I still have some copper sheets, so I can make a couple circuit boards just to maximize our utility here. And then I don't think I have any copper ingots. No, I don't. Okay, so we do have to actually leave. But they got us another 15, so I guess that's got to count for something. We will eventually put a actual ramp here. But probably not today. Just because we got all this other stuff going on. And I really want to put a train going between these two things. Because then you can just ride the train. It's automated. It goes all the time. You can just hop in. You don't have to drive everywhere. And the monorail also distributes power along the tracks, so you don't have to run the high-tension wires all over the map. So that's exciting. Proceeds to run into more rocks. Yep, correct. Now we got to hit our ramp here. That I probably have not lined myself up correctly with. Nope, not at all. All right, well, we'll get a running start. That's why I played building games instead of racing games. You got it. When I was still streaming on Twitch, I did Forza Horizon 4 for like 2 streams, and I was really bad at it. And it was like, all right, this isn't fun if I'm terrible at this. So decided I was done with that. Game Pass is cool because it means I don't have to buy games. I can just play them and then be done. Not waste $60, $70, $80 on it. Oh, now I need screws. Of course. Yeah, we are very much in need of automating all of this stuff that we've just been manually doing for basically the last, I don't know, 30 hours of this playthrough, 35 hours. Alright, computers. I can make a 9. And I think that's still limited by the screws. I'm not streaming Doki Doki Literature Club. Also, there's only like, I don't know, 30 minutes of actual content for that. And everybody already knows how it ends. Racing games, predictable but hard to maintain consistency. Building games, predictable but easy, unless your beavers get sick due to user error. Yep. Yep, you got it. I used to be good at racing games, because that's pretty much all I played on the original Xbox generation. I need 8 more. 8 more computers. Yep, I gotta have 76 more circuit boards. And then I might have enough plastic, actually. I currently have enough screws to do 8 more. No, so let's go get some copper. Make some more of those copper sheets. Oh man, old school RuneScape. I logged back into my account on that for the first time in over 2 years last week. And then I got irritated because I didn't have access to members stuff and I couldn't wear any of my gear. And I'm like, well, I don't want to pay $12 right now just to play the game for half an hour and get bored again. So, I don't know. I feel like I would like to play it more, but it's so competitive in terms of PvP that I would stand absolutely no chance, and there are a lot of really toxic people in that community. So, like, I don't want to do PvP stuff. But that would be a fun stream game. Just chill, walking around, doing quests and stuff. If I could justify spending the time on it. Yes, you do have your Beard Booster membership distinction. Yes, indeed. Member for 1 month. See, I thought you had been a member for more than 1 month, but it's still, every time I go to update the spreadsheet, it still says you're under the 1 month category. So I don't really know how that works. Seems kind of strange, but how many circuit boards? I need to make more. All right. Do I have inventory space? Okay, I do. All right. So I'll get one more stack. Or actually, how many? Oh, yeah, I can get 2 stacks because that'll just condense into 1. That'll work out just fine. Yes, more fully manual crafting when I could automate this and should have automated it, but lets me talk to you guys, so that's fine. Avoid the wilderness, which is 1/5 of the content. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Even like the higher level skilling stuff, like with rune crafting, you gotta go in the deep wilderness, get the abyssal altar. And like, all right, well, why is that locked behind getting your stuff packed in by some like guy who hasn't slept in 3 days and who like can tick eat faster than you can even react? Like, no, that's not appealing to me. If I want to watch people doing crazy stuff in RuneScape, I'll go watch Settled or one of those other guys who does the crazy Iron Man stuff, which is very entertaining. I've watched all of Settled's different series. I haven't played Iron Man ever. I haven't done hardly ever any PvP, but it's really interesting how the way his brain works and like dissects the game to find loopholes. It's just absolutely fascinating. Yeah, Rendy's good. I haven't seen him in a while. Sure you've been for more than 2. See, it's hard because I think the way it counts, the way it wants to display membership to me is cumulative total days on some sort of definition of a month. So James isn't in here, but I guess I'll use him as an example because he said it in a public comment. He said that he should have been in the 5-month thing like a couple months ago when YouTube was telling me he was only in the 3-month club. Like he'd only been for a total of 3 months. But I know he'd been gifted like more than 3 times. I don't know how it decides to count it, but I can pretty much only go off of what it tells me because it's almost impossible to track like 300 or 400 different entries manually. So what I do is I go into the dashboard and it gives me a summary of, okay, I'm gonna have to make more circuit boards, but it gives me a summary of who's been a channel member for how long, when they resubscribed, or if they're continuous subscription, like how long ago they started, and that's it. But after you pass 1 month, it'll do like 10 days, 20 days. It'll do like individual day increments until you get to 1 month, and then it won't update it at all until it gets to 2 complete months. So I don't know if someone is 1 day away from getting the next month or if they're 30 days away. It doesn't tell me. It just says 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And I don't know when we get around to the year, which is going to be, I think, in May. I don't know how it's going to handle that, if it's just going to keep everybody at 1 year or if it's going to go to 13 months. I don't know. We'll see. Dude, Tile Man was a huge long series. Like, the amount of time the guy spends playing the game is just insane. Devilish, according to YouTube, you were the first member. I don't know if you actually were, but you show up the highest on longest duration, because I think your membership might have lapsed maybe once, but most of the other people in the 9-month club have had it lapse at least once, some a couple times. Yeah, Alex, you were one of the first receivers of a gift membership, but it just, for some reason, has never... whatever the metric is, you're probably like 1 or 2 days away from the next month up, and that's why it seems like it's so off. I wish it would give me total days, and then in parentheses months, because that would be easier. Patreon, well, I don't even post anything on there, but people who want to be part of that can still give me stuff if they want. But Patreon will tell me the specific day they signed up, but it won't tell me months, so I have to manually calculate that, which sometimes ends up being wrong. But it'll tell me when they signed up, when they stopped payment, and when their quote-unquote membership ends. So it's very easy, if I can do math, it's very easy for me to be able to actually determine how long someone has been on a Patreon membership. But the integration with YouTube on Patreon is terrible, and I decided I can't upload every single video to both platforms because Patreon takes like 6 hours to process a video. And if I finish the video at 2 a.m., and it goes live to the public at 10:30 a.m., then I'd have to stay up until 8 hit publish on Patreon. Like I can't do this. It just doesn't make sense. I've wanted to redo how that whole thing is set up for a long time. I just have to actually sit down and think about it and come up with other more exclusive content that isn't just like a cash grab thing, because I hate that. I want it to be something that's actually worthwhile for people who are contributing, get something out of it, and not just I want to support somebody. And that's been the hardest thing. That's why I only charge, what is it, $3? Because it's like, all right, that's like the price of a cup of coffee if you go to like a diner or something like that. In a lot of parts of the world, depending on the strength of your currency, that's not a huge sum of money, and a lot of people can just kind of do that. Versus, like, I don't know, people have what, $20, $30, $40, $50 like memberships. Like, why are you charging people $50 for this? Unless they're just like, I don't know, a VTuber or something where people just go into simp mode and throw tons of money at them for whatever reason. What are you working on today? Stream is actually just about over, but we are wrapping up the research for, I think it's advanced, some sort of advanced logistics or whatever, that's going to give us access to Mark IV belts, oil fuel generators, and then a couple other things. So I want to set up fuel oil power, because coal is annoying, and we have all this oil stuff. So that's what we've been kind of working on, and then I've been getting distracted by chat with all sorts of other stuff. But that's fun. That's part of the reason why I stream this instead of make videos. Because if I'm doing something like mind-numbingly boring, like going back here like 18 times to get more and more plastic, then it becomes not quite as much fun if you don't have people to talk to. Plus, then I don't have to edit these videos down, and that would take me like 4 times as long as it does to actually play the game. Oh, surprise, surprise, I'm out of copper sheets again, so we'll just go back. And I can leave that full of fuel because we're going to be back here in hopefully just a couple minutes to put a fuel generator. And we'll want that to be full. Devilish is not being truthful. Devilish attempted to bribe me with a cash donation to stream Season 9 of Scrubs, which, by the way, is super illegal to rehost digital content on a for-profit platform without a license for it. Not to mention, Season 9 of Scrubs is awful, if it exists at all, which it doesn't. It never has existed. It's too bad they never made one. And if they did, I'm sure it would not be terrible. Like, it definitely wasn't. But, I don't know. Man, Scrubs is such a good show. First 8 seasons were fantastic. Issue with coal issues, water or fuel. So coal doesn't generate a ton of power per power plant. And since you have to have a certain amount of coal to run a coal power plant, you have to space them out. You can't just build one thing in one spot and just have a ton of them unless you import the coal from somewhere else. Whereas oil, if you have 3 or 4 of those oil field things, then you can actually run, I don't know, dozens of fuel generators off of those. That's what the thumbnail is for these streams, is from my single-player world that I played 4 years ago, when I had a whole bunch of those fuel generators over on the other side of the map that we haven't been to in this playthrough. And it's so much better. And you also get the plastic and rubber as byproducts. Very, 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 very useful. I did not go get copper sheets. That's the whole reason I came back here. Can you make an OnlyFans? OnlyFans? No. Well, computer stream, I mean, I'm going to at some point. But when I build a new computer, I probably will do either a stream of building it or a video, and that'll probably be beer booster content, because to be honest, their level of support is what's going to be able to make it possible for me to build a new computer. So I want to give that to those guys. But that is not going to be something that happens anytime soon. I would like to keep using this until I literally can't, because it's more responsible usage of money. And I do have other things I'm trying to pay for. I got a lot of home repairs I'm trying to help my parents with currently. So that's where a lot of this money is going as I try to do other stuff. You know, it's nice to be able to do stuff like that. And that's one of the things that me doing YouTube has allowed me to do, versus just trying to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and barely make enough money to survive. So I can split time up and interests up, and it isn't nearly as stressful as trying to work all those different things. So It's been very nice. Very appreciative of all the support. You'd see the beard? Yeah, you probably would. I originally, when I streamed on Twitch, I used a face cam, and then I just stopped because I don't own a webcam. The only the only camera I own is the one I use to take sports photography pictures, Sony A7 Mark III, which has incredible image quality. It is a very nice camera, but I I hooked it up to my capture card, and it's just like unbelievable fidelity. It's like, man, you can see all my skin blemishes and individual hairs, and like, if I didn't brush my teeth after lunch, you can see like, people don't need to look at this. So I just stopped doing it. Also, it was annoying to keep crawling behind my desk to plug the HDMI cable in every time I had to go and, like, you know, actually use the camera to make money, taking pictures, and then come back like, I was streaming to 2 people on Twitch for like 6 months. It's like people don't care about this. But it's kind of, it's one of those things where on YouTube you kind of have to fit the meta of like thumbnail design. You'll notice an evolution in some people's stuff. Like they have that stupid expression on their face. It's like, gasp. But like, I hate that. I think it's stupid. But it gets people to click on stuff. So I said, you know what? I'll just take my profile picture and I'll just put it in that same spot on the thumbnail. And I'll just not do anything to it. It's like, hey, there's my face. You can see it. You can recognize it. But I'm not making some stupid Mr. Beast expression or something. So I don't think I need to be putting my face and stuff, but it is fun to actually connect to people with a webcam. Whether or not I would want to do that full-time, I don't know. I kind of like just being faceless. Although there are definitely some of you who know what I look like because you've been here a long time. I don't think anyone is currently in chat who is with me on Twitch, but there are a couple of you. Broadly speaking. I need to make one thing, and then I can make one computer. No, I can't because... Wait. Did I not make a circuit board? I thought I did. Okay, well now I have 10. Now I can make one. There we go. Now, finally, after what? 2 hours and 47 minutes, we can come over here. And we can put everything in, send the thing off into space. And we can then build our fuel generators.
Milestone reached. The fuel generator will match power generation to the increased consumption of recently acquired technologies and buildings. Additionally, improved conveyor belts and lifts can now be constructed. Caterium scanning unlocked.
I had to sneeze expeditiously, so that's why that was muted. Anyway. Gonna need computers, yes. We are gonna have to automate those. I know if the fuel generator also needs computers, but we can make those pretty easily now. We can't select another... Well, we can't start contributing to a milestone until it gets back, but I have to decide, do I want to do hypertubes, blueprints, or alternative fluid transport? This is what allows us to do packaged fuel, which we could put in the car and other things. I think we want to do this next. Alternative fluid transport. That would be my leaning, but we can also research monorail technology, which is fun. And actually seems a little bit more accessible. Hey, Cunningham. Stream is actually just about over. Sorry, but good to see you nonetheless. Pipeline Engineering Mark II is going to help us out with our coal stuff and our fuel, but we can't really make all this yet. As much as I really want to do monorails, I think we're going to have to do alternative fluid transport first. So we'll do that. We obviously, like I said, can't put that in. But we need to make fuel generators, and we need 5 computers for that. Rubber we will have to make over there, but that's not going to be a problem. Just change the recipe. 10 heavy modular frames and 5 computers. So let's do that real quick. We'll go over there, put that in. Yes, circuit boards, once again. I can make 80. How many do I need to make 5 computers? I wish I could add manual crafting to this to-do list like you can with buildings. So I'll need 50. 50 to make 5 computers. So let's make 50 circuit boards. Kind of hungry. Me too. That's another reason to end the stream is we're going to have dinner here in a little bit. But I got another 15, 20 minutes. Oh, how did I miss this? Season 9 exists, but the Season 1 to Season 8 is the true path of Scrubs. Correct. Season 8 had a great send-off. Yeah, man, I cannot explain to you how much I love everything about how Scrubs was written. It's just it's incredibly good. It's like the perfect blend of just completely stupid comedy, really, really solid character writing, and when it touched on the serious stuff, it was actually doing it in an appropriate way that makes you actually feel for the characters. It's really, really good writing. I want fries, me too. That sounds good. 2 hours later. Yeah, okay, so that was yesterday when I was recording the Workers and Resources Soviet Republic video. I was recording that for like 3.5 hours, man. And I'm sitting there like hacking and wheezing the whole time. It's like, oh, this is miserable. And then, oh god, the timer kept restarting at the end. That's a fun game. I don't think I want to live stream it. One, because it would inevitably devolve into political debates constantly. Two, because it is just so deeply involved, I could not multitask doing it. Fun fact, the janitor was never meant to be a permanent figure, correct? His personality kept him as a stable figure because he contributed so much. He improvised like almost all of his lines, didn't he? I remember seeing that. And like originally, like he wasn't even, I think, supposed to be real. It was supposed to just be like something JD was imagining. Like, man, I love that show so much. I'm gonna have to watch it again. I need to finish the last season of Better Call Saul. I started that. Oh, I made too many circuit boards. That's a pain. I'll just make my 80 and be done with it. We'll go get more stuff. What was I talking about? Oh, Better Call Saul. I watched the first episode of season 6 of Better Call Saul, and then I guess I got distracted or whatever, and then I forgot about it. So I still haven't seen the end of that show. I know it's good. We'll go get plastic, and then we'll set those things to make a rubber, because we do need the rubber over there. And then I guess we'll have to go get some more screws. Makes 89 circuit boards. Forgets to make the 5 computers. I can't make them yet. I don't have enough. I don't have enough heavy modular frames. If you think Walter White is the good guy and someone to look up to, you're missing. Yes. Oh man, that's like one thing that really made me mad is how like everyone on the internet is like Skylar White is like the worst wife in history. Like, no, she's not. She was like the only sane person in the show. Like, she was not the enemy. Like, Breaking Bad is not a hero story. The story of a desperate man who turns to like crazy stuff because he can't afford healthcare and gets sucked into a path of like despicable villainy because of it and ruins countless people's lives. He's not supposed to be the good guy. It's a really good character drama. That's it. With all that you're going to need, may set up. Yeah, I have so much stuff that I have to automate, but the reason I haven't done that is I'm not making enough power yet, which is why I've been trying to do the fuel generators. Actually, I need to go ahead and add that right there, so that'll keep me focused. But I don't have the capacity to actually go through and add anything else until I'm making more power. So we'll just go ahead and make our rubber, change the recipe, and that will work out quite nicely. We already have 12. We'll leave that there. I don't think we need the rubber to make anything else for the fuel generator, so we can just come back and grab this when it's time to go. Cool. Buggy not bouncy enough, needs more bouncy and less. Yeah, so they changed, I don't know if you know this or not, they changed the driving physics with update 8, I think. And overall, I like it less. Like, I understand why they did it, but it's changed in a way that is a little bit less fun. Like, the old driving physics for this were definitely not realistic, but they were very much more entertaining to mess with. Needs a jet and lasers. So I haven't watched the developer video on the 1.0 release yet, but apparently lasers are part of it. I guess I need to go watch it later. But that was always the joke forever, was mini golf or regular golf or whatever, because somebody had found some sort of something in the code for it. So I don't know, but I guess lasers are a thing now. I haven't really watched the developer stuff since Jace left to go make his own indie games. I like Snut. He's a really funny dude. I just didn't watch any more videos after Jace left. I think that was when I kind of stopped playing the game anyway, because I had all this other stuff going on. But I can go back and look at some of that. But we can make a jetpack. Obviously not attached to the vehicle here. But that is something that we can get to, and probably will at some point before we get too far along. since we're already here, let's grab... Oh, good. I need all these screws. So many screws. Do I have... yes, I do. I think we're going to be okay. If I just come in here and take care of this. Actually surprised you haven't centralized storage. Oh, I'm so bad at that. Made huge storage with long conveyor systems. So if you want that, you want someone who's actually good at it, watch Kibitz. I think he changed his name. It used to be I'm Kibitz, but now it might be Kibitz Plays. I don't know. But he's really good at Satisfactory and like automated storage and everything. I promise you, I cannot build that kind of stuff. I'm not making more circuit boards. I got to make heavy modular frames. Got to make 10 of them. So I think we're going to have to get some more encased industrial beams. But my problem with building centralized storage is it takes so many resources to set something like that up that I'd rather just advance the tech tree and just get to the stuff. I don't want to spend 10, 15, 20 hours building a giant warehouse that ends up not being big enough. And I don't have the smart sorting splitters yet, which would make it almost impossible to make a good automated storage system without it. So once I get those unlocked in, I don't know, forever, then I might set something like that up. But I tend to kind of just jump around and go and do different things while we're working on this. So I've got 4 to 10. I just need this to say 6. And I think I can get to there if I have enough of these. I have 21. Yeah, so I need 10 more, and then I have to have encased industrial beams. So do I have... Yes, I do. Okay. So we'll just do that real quick. Great catching stream again, but I have to go. Need to check the softness of my bed. That sounds nice. Have a good evening. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. Don't know when the next stream is going to be, but I really need to have a set schedule for this stuff. It's just so hard with everything else I got going on. I think in like maybe toward the end of March, early April, it might start calming down a little bit where I could actually have a definitive I will stream every week at X date, X time. It's just right now I got so much other stuff going on. I'm not going to know until like maybe an hour before. Seen him when the RCE comedically makes unnecessarily long conveyors. Yeah. Oh man. The very first video I ever saw of Satisfactory was Let's Game It Out making the cyclone of conveyor belts and the hypertube cannon that blasts you halfway across the map. That's what convinced me to buy the game. Beans Universe is not in chat, but I lived with him at the time. And he was like, dude, you got to see this video. This is nuts. He'd been begging me to play Satisfactory forever, and I'm really stubborn when it comes to media recommendations and stuff. It just takes so much time. I don't want to waste my time on something I'm not going to like. But then he shows me the video, I'm like, I have to buy this immediately. so we did. That's what we did during a lot of the COVID lockdown, was just play a whole lot of Satisfactory. That was a good time. In the middle of moving, yikes. I do not envy you. That is never fun. But hopefully it's for good reasons and not bad ones. All right, so now I got modular frames. I can make 6 of these. And then we just have to make our computers, and then we can go get rubber, set up a fuel generator, and then that is going to be it for this one, so I can save some of myself for recording tomorrow's video. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out in the stream. It's always fun to sit here and just, talk about random stuff, waste time inefficiently playing Satisfactory. Rent is dropping from 15. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, take that every time. Yeah, that's like when I moved back in with my parents. It's like, well, you take a huge hit to your pride as an adult who's finished with school and has struggled for whatever reason to find good job, good situation, whatever. Take a huge hit to your pride moving back in with your parents. But hey, if you're not paying rent, that's a perfect arrangement. So that's been nice. Now we just need the rubber to make the fuel generator. We should have cable. We do. We have deuterium wire. We have regular wire, and we have the rods. We have concrete. We should. Yes. Okay, so we have everything we need to set up the fuel. Oh, copper sheets. I'm going to need those. Those I don't have. We're going to need to do that so we can have the actual pipes going into the generator. 69-hour stream of Update 5 water beavers on the map. By the way, water beaver mod. Wait, what? Okay, I think autocorrect murdered you there. But yes, the next water beavers, I think I'm going to start as a couple of videos, but eventually turn into live streaming, because the first couple of videos for the water beavers did incredibly well. Like at the time I uploaded them, were some of my best performing videos I'd ever made, and obviously now that's no longer the case because other stuff is done better. But I am, shall we say, heavily incentivized to make videos on the water beavers. But as the series goes on, it definitely becomes kind of a slog. So we'll see. Yeah, update 5 in Timberborn with the water beavers, it just seems like an extremely, extremely difficult difficult challenge. I did really enjoy playing that mod. And probably not at liberty to talk about too much other stuff, but I've got a lot of really cool stuff in some sort of planning stage for Timberborn. I obviously can't do like 5 series at once or I'd shoot myself, but once we finish the current 2 series, we're going to start just the one, probably water beavers. If that ends up changing into a live stream, then I'll start another video series. But please leave those videos. I miss a lot of your streams. That's fair. I might pull it again, because I asked people, and a lot of people said they'd prefer them as streams, but a lot of people also said they'd prefer them as videos. I don't know, it takes so much time to do stuff early game in water beavers when you get into the more advanced technologies, that you're kind of just sitting there and not able to do too much. So I don't want the videos to become stale by me just having to whatever. And a lot of people really like that I don't edit stuff, or if I have to, it's just minimal or it's time-lapsed. And I don't want it to turn into something where I'm just having to spend, I don't know, 8 hours editing one video where I could just record for an hour and put the things on it in Premiere and export it and then have the whole thing done in, I don't know, 2.5 hours versus, you know, spending 2 or 3 work days on one video. And then, I don't know. I think the unedited style is a lot more authentic to the actual experience of playing the game, and makes it more interesting, especially when it makes stupid mistakes. I promise those are not intentional. Look, I cannot do a single start-to-finish stream for water beavers. Are you insane? I would pass out after probably 12 hours of that. Yeah, the minimal editing thing is great because I don't have to edit, and nothing gets lost because it's all there. And of course, it could definitely be argued that the quality could be a lot better if I edited, but at the same time, I think that does take some of the charm away from it. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware you like giving me flack for mistakes, but that's part of the fun. And it shows that people are engaged in the content and it's intriguing, or at the very least, it draws them in with stuff, whether or not it's for good reasons. It does foster a nice community kind of relationship that I think is fun. All right, so this fuel generator we're going to put over here. We are going to redo this to make it look nicer later, but this will just be here ready to go. And we will connect like so. And now it's running, or it will be running as soon as it's full, but it's got 150 megawatt capacity, which I believe is higher than the coal power plant? Coal generator? Yeah, 75. It's double. Alright, so this has to get connected to... What's that trying to snap to? Is that the power line thing? I guess I will just come over here and... why did I get trapped behind? There we go. It's hard to see when the bounding boxes are all out for display. That's too far. Oh, that wasn't connected. That's what it was. Oh, man. I hate having to sneeze and mute mic. All right. So now this is connected. It should be running. We should see a marked increase in the amount of power we're generating. It's full up. It's consuming 12 cubic meters per minute. So let's check our output. It's making 15.6. That seems to be working just fine. So we could actually run probably the way this is. If this was all running 100%, I could have like 2 or 3 of these going. But now we're in a much better spot for actually making power. All right, so I've got that. I will just let this, I kind of want to let it continue doing rubber, but I also am definitely going to need a lot more plastic. maybe for right now it's fine. How close am I to 2 stack? You know what? I'm just going to switch back to plastic. Rubber's not as necessary. There we go. All right, problem solved. Now, we'll go back and then see how much I can dump into the research for the alternative fluid transport. Hopefully don't fall off the edge here. There we go, and then that'll be it. How's your graphics card holding up? Well, I forced the fans to spin at 100% RPMs, and it seems to be doing fine. So I either need to take the cooler off and repaste it, or I need to put a water block on it, which I'm definitely not going to do on a 4-year-old 2070 Super. Or I need to just buy a new card. But the card itself works okay. It just has a problem keeping cool. I don't mean to be a... No, that's fine. I don't think less of you guys for laughing at me. That's half the reason I do it that way. Because I know there's a comedic potential for me to make dumb mistakes that aren't going to be like game eroding, but are going to generate some pretty funny stuff. So I sometimes will just lose focus a little bit, and sometimes that happens. But I don't try to make mistakes. It just happens. Enjoy the lack of editing, to be honest. I feel like time lapses are necessary because of the time commitments for certain buildings, but at the same time it's rough with... Yeah, it is... It's hard to find a good balance for some of that. And I don't do a lot of them in Timberborn like I would have to with Ostrov or the Soviet Republic game. Because the nice thing about Timberborn is it lets you still do stuff while you're doing accruing science or building a giant project. You can still go around and do other things, but like in the tutorial for the Soviet Republic game yesterday, like I could have done other stuff, but why? Like there wasn't really any incentive for me to be that into it because I had already basically completed the tutorial. I was just waiting for the resource to be done. So that was not something. And that's kind of why I didn't want to live stream that game, because it's just there's too much of a gap in like achievement versus time. Whereas in a video, I know I can cut it out, or I can do a time lapse. But live stream, what am I going to sit here for an hour and a half while I research something? No, that's a waste of everybody's time. That's just not responsible video making. I'm not running 1,000+ beavers on a water beaver mod. It seems to be. I mean, the computer itself is fine. It just tends to struggle sometimes, I think, a little more than it should. I need 2,500 of these. How many do I have? 5 stacks? I got 4 stacks. All right, so I will get that many, so then I have extra. Repaste at 100%. I mean, I probably also need to just clean the gunk out of the fins. But it hasn't, I mean, the last time I opened up my computer, I did all that. But I think there's a certain limit to what it can handle. And if I'm going to repaste it, I want to be 100% sure that I'm not going to break something. Like a CPU is like, it has no moving parts. You got the die, which has the cover on top of it. You scrape off the old paste, you put new paste on, and then you put the cooler back on it. It's almost impossible to mess that up. But graphics card, you gotta like really, really be careful. And I just don't, for something that currently works and doesn't stand to be that big of a performance boost, I don't think it's worth it. Because I know I'm going to replace it anyway. And I wouldn't want to sell it for full price to somebody because I know I've flogged this graphics card for the past 4 years. And I don't want to be a dishonest person. Yeah, so that's... And here I am continuing to do this after I said we were going to be done, but we'll just, I guess, do this. That's fine. Trust yourself, it's more daunting than how easy it is. Yeah, but I also, you know, I use this to make money, so if I mess it up and I have to buy a new card, then that's going to be bad. Because I don't have the budget right now to build a new computer. All right, so now we have one of everything, at least, in the alternative fluid transport. And we need to make a bunch of motors. We need to make a bunch of the heavy modular frames. Everything else is good. And then once we have that done, that's going to grant us access to all of this stuff. We can make packaged fuel, packaged water. I don't really know what you'd use for that except for other recipes. Liquid biofuel, etc. And we get the big fluid buffer, which is going to be very helpful. And once that's done, we're going to actually be able to make nice factories to keep everything organized, because everything else will be just fine. Because we did research the where was it? Logistics Mark IV. Yeah, we have the Mark IV conveyor belt. We have the Mark IV lift, and then we... I already knew where Caterium was. I didn't need the scanner update for it, but that's the way she goes. As long as you have new paste and new pads, it's easy to unscrew and repaste. Okay, fair. But I also haven't ever done that, so there's a little bit of trepidation there. I feel like when you're younger, you have this kind of invincibility feeling on different tasks. And you think, oh, yeah, that's easy. I'm like, oh, what's that meme? Is like, nah, I'd win. It's like, no, you're not. Like, you're overconfident. You're going to break something. So I've had all this stuff as like, okay, I got a car that needs a bunch of work done. She's like, oh, I can't afford to have somebody work on it. I can do it myself. So then I buy parts, and then I start working on it. Like, wait, I don't know how to do this. Or this is rusted on here. I got to have somebody take it to a machine shop to get it off. I don't have an angle grinder or whatever. So it's like, all right, it's okay to admit when you don't have the tools or skills to do something. Even if it's something that you really probably should be doing yourself because you can't afford to pay somebody else to do it. Sometimes you just have to do it. Anyway, probably pretty unlikely that I end up repasting this unless I decide I'm going to keep it and build a second computer, or like if I want to have a home theater PC and I end up keeping this for a long time. I don't know. We'll see. Bigger hammer. Yeah, I had a... you're right. I said I was going to be done with stream, but I tried... 4 years ago, I tried to change U-joints on a truck. And it was so rusted on there. I had a 5-pound sledgehammer trying to like unseat. I don't know if wrenching on cars, I don't think is in chat, or else you'd probably be able to tell me, oh, you could have done this. It's super easy, this, that, or the other. But I watched a couple of YouTube videos and they're like, oh, I know how to do this now. And then I go outside, I got a 5-pound sledgehammer banging on the U-joint where it attaches to the yoke of the drive shaft, and it wasn't coming off. And then I look at it, yeah, it's completely rusted in one piece. I can't fix that. So then I had to have somebody. That was the whole thing. But I don't think I'm going to be attempting auto repair like that ever again, because I don't have the skill set, I don't have the tools, and I don't have the money to fix it if I make it worse. So that's the way. Yeah, plasma torch. Yeah, can't be tight if it's a liquid. And I didn't have a plasma torch, but I had like one of those propane. I forget what the brand name is, but it's the blue bottle with the striker on the end with the tube, and you can, burn things. We used it in the kitchen to make creme brulee. And light the fire pit, and like, oh, I can just heat this up. It's gonna be fine. Copious amounts of WD-40. I had it wasn't WD-40. It was, oh, what's that called? PB Blaster. I like soaked it in that, and it was. I wish I had a picture of it. I promise you, it was one piece. It was one piece. The yoke and the U-joint and everything was just a completely rusted together solid piece of thing. It's like, yeah, this hasn't been changed in 20-something years. Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about, the little blowtorch. I wish I could remember what the brand name is, but it's like a, I don't know, like a 20-some ounce blue bottle if that amount is incorrect. But it's like a blue bottle about a foot high that has the brass fitting on the top with the automatic igniter. But I didn't have the acetylene version, the yellow. I think that's what that was. So I was like, I'm not going to burn my house down trying to fix a 25-year-old car. Knew a guy when he was in the Navy. He was a 6'5", 300-pound Polish man. He probably could have taken that nut off with his own hand. Yeah, probably. Burnzomatic, that's what it was. Yeah. Oh, butane, not propane. All right. Well, I know those are different, but I couldn't tell you why. Some do it to a rusted bolt on a ship, just grabbed and crack. Yeah, if you have the kind of bolts and stuff on like the big trucks, oil rig type work ships, you got to have the giant wrenches that are like 2 or 3 feet long and like stand on those things. That's just wild to me. Anyway, I got to get my voice is already hurting. So I appreciate you guys being here very much. It's been nice to hang out with you. Hopefully you enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me today, and we'll hopefully catch you again soon in the stream. I don't know when the next one's going to be, but I will be trying to have more of a regular schedule. Yes. Take care. Appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye-bye.